it was against FPX, you know, gave us pretty good confidence to come into against Genji. And you know,
Udah live belum sih? Cek.
I think it's just the beginning.
Cek.
Was that just pure confidence builder for you there?
Honestly, yeah, it was like a more mentality difference. So yeah, we all.
Oi, selamat datang live streaming gua.
You're in a position
Gila
here
panas
to
banget
be
bangsat.
one of the first people to ever lift 2 trophies, 2 champions trophies.
Anjir, udah lama banget gua live streaming.
As you get ready for these matches throughout the competition.
Honestly, brother, I don't even think about it. I'm just like going with the flow, you know. I think the results.
Kenapa?
Pretty good for you, my man. All right, back to you guys.
There is a reason why Sassy could be the one to do that twice here, but also just individually, Kakuka, he's on LAN form.
Oh yeah, completely. I was talking and mentioning that Icebox game, and one of the reasons
Udah lama
why
banget
they
gua
managed
nge-live
to get
streaming,
that
bangsat.
win under their belts was because of Sassy. We know that the experience is on his side, that the calls are extremely clean, but the level that he's showcasing right now here, it's probably going to take Sen very, very far into the tournament.
When he played his first game at this event and Sentinels ended up losing, I felt like his form was being wasted because he shows up to these Champions tournaments and seems to step up. His stats.
Wah, kangen banget gua.
Playing at Champions. Of course, the last time he went on a run at one of these events, lifted that trophy. Now only one of 3 players that can do that. But as you heard in that interview, it doesn't really weigh on him. I think he takes much more of a role as the veteran for this team, building up the younger players. They've had a tough year, and you need a player like that who has that experience through the highs and lows that a team like Loud did to be able to kind of keep everyone in it and find their form again when it matters most.
How crazy the context is that we can say Sen has had a difficult year when they won Masters 1, right? But you are right, like the rest of it, there's so many things that have been going up and down that everything comes into consideration.
I mean, speaking of the year, Mimi, tell me how it started in the off-season.
Yeah, I mean, it's been since the beginning for this Sentinel squad, where they started off by being the team who is so prolific in that off-season, right? Playing more events than mostly anyone else in North America, including here in Korea, where they won the Africa TV tournament. And I think that's when people first got excited for this team. But it was a very different start for DRX. Their roster wasn't built up at this point. They still had that DRX team that people knew and loved from the past. They lost in this tournament. But then through the early stages of Pacific, they made the biggest change in really the history of this squad, picking up 3 new rookie players who were unproven at this level and pushing them to then kind of come back at the final hour and make it to Champions and find a form that can compete with the Sentinels who crushed that old DRX roster.
So in the grand scheme of things, you can say Sentinels has played against DRX, but he was a very different than one. As Mimi saying, this was the beginning of the Sentinels that we're saying, but it was the end of the previous DRX before those changes were made, and especially of how different the years have been for both of the teams.
I mean, of course, there's one guy that's always been there. It's Tens, and let's hear from him in this Omen player moment.
Udah lama nggak live.
Sentinels. Definitely playing against Genji again, just in the fashion that it was. It felt very nostalgic, very deja vu, just being able to win, like kind of in the same way too on Icebox. I think it was kind of like a cherry on top of the story. And I also think that's one of the reasons why they're so good is they actually look like a group of friends, similar to how we look when we're playing our best. So I definitely think for Genji, it's a bright future. If it wasn't for us, I mean, they probably would have won all 3 tournaments back to back. But overall, like, they're amazing teams. So I'm just really glad that we were able to show our best in order to beat their best.
Wow! With the nade out, still manages to get one. But Karen on the equalizer. Celsius now aggressive with the Spectre upgraded in the hands of Munchkin. Can he hold the line? Finding all 3!
Down A.
All the Sentinels fans cheering for us in the stands. It's amazing to have you there, and we definitely appreciate the energy. We did recently knock out one of your teams. I hope you come join us on our side, so you could say that your team lost to the tournament winners.
I love the confidence from Tens, but they would have to take down DRX today if they want to make it all the way. And let's talk about DRX, because for a moment, Kakuka, I don't think we would even be talking about DRX because they just weren't there for the first 2 tournaments.
Yeah, and it's crazy. We were talking about the changes and everything that the team has been undergoing this year, but now they have become the last hope for Pacific in this Champions.
Halo guys, selamat datang guys. Anjir, udah lama nggak live anjir. Selama 2 bulan.
for this year, everything that they had to overcome comes down to this. You already made it out
Oh,
of
ini
groups. Your DRX, we know
chatnya
you're going
kagak
to make
nongol
it
ya?
out of groups. Now is when things start to get tense. And they made it out of groups as a first seed. I hope that this gives them the confidence to take it very deep into the tournament, because we know now with the crowd, there's a lot of pressure. We've seen it in the past. Heretics did not do well in Madrid, and so on and so on. So let's see how they perform.
And as that last hometown team, I think people were rightfully worried after seeing their first game against Crew. They came out, map one of that series, and they looked so shaky. The nerves were getting to the players. They talked in interviews about how some of the rookies were almost freezing up on stage, barely even realizing it. But since that map, they have won 4 straight, including an upset over Fnatic, where they played, honestly, some incredible
ini
Valorant.
keluar
I think
nih.
right now, they are looking like maybe the best Abyss team at this event. The multitude of looks they have, especially on their defense, to get aggressive in mid, the form that Buzz is in. This is a team who came out of nowhere and has suddenly become a real contender to win Champions.
And that's the crazy thing. You do all of that to make it out of groups. You're the #1 seed, and you got to play Sentinels round 1.
I mean, there's no easy way out of this, right? And
Big
especially
M.
with the form that
Big M gue milih
I
Sentinel
feel like
menang.
they see each other in the same way.
I mean,
Krusial.
I know
Krusial. Setelah gue milih Sentinel, ternyata DRX yang menang. Cua.
I mean, this DRX team, I think, strategically as well, have a lot of similarities to Sentinels. I think one of their biggest strengths is their defensive side protocols. When they play Flood Retake, they look really good together. I think they have a variety of different looks for aggression and taking map control early. They're a team with a lot of depth, but also some incredible highlight players.
Yeah, and one of those players is standing by right now. Here's Buzz with Golden Boy.
Iya, ada update cuy Valorant.
Hey, I'm here with Buzz
Valorant
from
update apaan,
DRX. How
anjir?
you doing, buddy? And we got a little crowd behind us too. All right, first things first, man. You guys are coming into this as the lone Pacific team. Is there any pressure for DRX to step up today?
To be honest,
Oh,
there's no
skin
pressure to
baru.
us. I mean, we are everyone say we are the only hub in the Pacific, but we really
Kayaknya
don't
ada
care
patch
about it.
lagi
We
deh,
lose,
ya.
we lose, we win. We are going to play
okay.
very comfortable but very confident.
Pray.
I expect
Net
nothing less than last
market.
thing. What has been the
Net
biggest
market
contributing
banner.
factor to DRX's recent success? Because you
New
guys, especially
agent
yourself,
teaser.
you're playing
Okay.
absolutely phenomenal right now.
I mean, everyone wanted to win, and that
Ih,
means everyone really
Lihat
work
banget
hard.
aja. Ini
even
kayak
coaches
semacam
really
kayak
work hard,
Fortnite
and
anjir.
that pays off.
Oh, ini
Definitely does, man.
nih.
Hey, best of luck today, brother.
Patch
All right,
baru,
back to
patch
y'all.
baru. Ger.
This is what I love
Nge-lag
about
lagi,
Buzz.
anjir.
Even after how long he's been in the scene for, seeing another Pacific
Ada patch
team
baru. Gua lagi update,
raise a
masa
trophy before he did. He's
jadinya
still working on himself. He's still improving, and somehow he's still one of the best.
And he says that he doesn't care about the pressure. He doesn't care that they're the last ones. If you want to win, you will put in the work. That's what they're focusing on right now. And his individual performance has been stellar throughout the tournament. Yes, he's been set up super well, but to make everything work
Maksudnya apa
in
nih?
mass, like for example, Abyss is still very
Agent
surprising.
update, oke.
Defensive opping has
Brim,
looked ridiculous.
oke, Molly,
I
snack
love
bed
watching him
dari
on the
Viper.
raise as well. I feel like his entry pathing is always
Oh,
so
ini yang
on his
dulu
team's
kayak
utility.
gini.
And this guy, he's been in Valorant
Oh, sekarang nggak
forever,
bisa.
from the very beginning of DRX. He's
boleh
one
lah.
of those guys that has defined what Valorant in
Throw
Korea,
up,
what Valorant for the
ikutan
Pacific
juga nggak?
region has meant
Oh
for
man,
so long.
oh
And I
man,
think that's why it's
Brim.
so cool at
Aish.
this Champions in Korea. Now is that last hope to be playing this well.
Yeah, and this is the thing. We talk about how it could have been DRX or HyperX to be the first Pacific team to win a trophy. It wasn't them, but somehow I feel like if Buzz were to do Champions in Korea,
Gimana?
the first one.
Man, and it will be crazy.
Bentar,
It will
bentar.
be such a good
Patch baru.
켰다 하는 불편함이 있었을 거야. 이번 패치부터 스킬 사용 중에도 핑을 찍을 수 있으니 빠른 의사소통이 가능하고
Cuman
연막
gituin
스킬도
doang.
효율적이게 사용할 수 있어. 오면의 궁극기인 그림자 습격도 스킬 사용 중에 핑을 찍을 수 있다고 하니 다들 참고하라고. 이번엔 내 차례.
Oh, dikotakin biar kita tahu. Kita
장벽 구슬을
gimana.
배치할 때 미리 보기가 미니맵에도 표시되게 바뀌었다고 해. 좀 더 직관적이게 바뀌었으니 더욱 사용하기 편리할 거야.
Oh, cuma nambahin
마지막
UI
시스템
doang.
업데이트.
Sistem update.
로프를
Oke.
타려고 할 때 스파이캠 다트를 맞으면 다트를 뽑다가 떨어지는 경우가 한 번씩 있었지.
Sekarang nggak bisa ngelepas
그런 억울한 일을 줄이기
apa
위해 상호작용 동작
kamera itu
방식을 개선했어.
di tali
로프의
bakalan
상호작용이
jatuh.
우선순위가 되고
Oke.
사이퍼의 스파이킨 다트는 후순위로 분리되어 더 이상 다트를 뽑다가 떨어지는 일은 없어질 거야.
Ini yang keduanya apa?
스파이킨 다트는 우선순위가 되고 사이퍼의 스파이킨 다트는 후순위로 분리되어 상호작용이 우선순위가 되고 사이퍼의 스파이킨 다트는 후순위로 분리되어 더 이상 다트를 뽑다가 떨어지는 일은 없어질 거야.
Oke, paham.
이번 소식은 여기까지. 너무 오랜만에 만나서 반가웠어. 다음에 또 좋은 소식으로 만나자고. 안녕.
Oke. 안녕.
회복시켜줄게. 앞으로 나와봐.
안녕. 안녕.
Snappy with it is Bane. Here's the footsteps to know that he's here on this spike. Swings out and Alpha just trying desperately to stick it up the half.
저희 멤버는 이제 작년에 비해 이제 솔직히 단단함이 좀 저는 개인적으로 지금은 살짝 좀 떨어진다고 생각하는데 지금
Ini kan belum mulai. Kita coba dulu ya. Apakah dia udah mulai patch baru atau gimana update-nya nih?
요즘 들어 제가 퍼포먼스를 대회에서는 잘 못 내고 있긴 하지만은 개인의 퍼포먼스는 저는 개인적으로 중요하다 생각하지 않고 결국엔 팀이 이기는 게 가장 중요하기 때문에 저는 개인적인 퍼포먼스보다 팀을 이기는 거에 우선시하고 플레이하고 있습니다. 저는 이제 이 멤버가 무조건 트로피를 들을 수 있는 멤버라고 생각하고 있습니다.
We talk about
Ini
how
kan
this
belum
year is
mulai.
the year of the rookies, and a lot of them are on DRX. Kukuka, and they look great here.
Yeah, exactly. We thought
Belum
that
mulai,
maybe it was
ya.
not the year for DRX, but to see them perform like this, I want to see how they match up. Now, seeing this DRX only wants me to see them against Heretics, for example, to see how the level is actually across the regions.
Yeah.
Masih prepare, Cok. Wih, lama, Cok. Loading screen-nya. Oke, kita coba ya. Custom ascent option cheat. Kita coba. Ini patch baru nggak sih? Udah patch baru belum sih? Kita coba. Brim.
They think I'm an old dog.
Kita coba.
I know. Okay, kids, we've got company. Pretend you all get along. My ult's ready. Molly.
Oh iya, Cok. Ger banget, ger.
Molly.
Oh, masih deh. Ini masih anjir.
Molly.
Ini masih, oh, nanti kali. Coba ya di pojokan ya.
Molly.
Oh, udah enggak, Cok. Udah enggak. Udah enggak.
Molly.
Ini karena ada sela-sela aja makanya.
Molly. Molly. Molly.
Oh, gelo. Coba ganti map
30
ya.
seconds left.
Ganti map. Ini belum mulai aja. Coba Lotus. Coba lotusnya dirimu dahulu.
I'll show him just how many tricks I know.
Kau nilai kurangnya diriku. Apa salahnya dirimu dahulu.
They picked the wrong day to mess with our world. My ult's ready.
Coba kita coba bro.
Molly.
Masih anjir. Belum, ini belum diupdate. Sukimai. Ngeng.
Molly.
Oh, ini udah nggak ada ya.
Molly.
Ini belum aja. Belum berarti tandanya guys.
Molly.
Belum, ini belum diupdate berarti.
Molly.
Belum diupdate berarti.
30 seconds left.
Belum diupdate.
Molly.
Mana tuh mulai? Dah. Nonton aja, nonton. WP.
But for now, let's take a look at the MasterCard fan poll. We asked you guys which first round playoff match you're most excited for, and you guys have unanimously voted for Sen versus DRX.
And they are right, right?
Yeah, that's the correct answer. There's always a correct answer in these fan polls. Good job, guys. You're wise.
Yeah, it is. But I was surprised that Fnatic Heretics second. Like, some people voted that.
Oh, they already know it's going to be a banger. Like,
it'll be a good game, but I think it is harder to get excited for the regional matchups compared to this first one in terms of the most exciting.
All right, and since I'm on the desk now, I can't troll my predictions. Apparently, that's the rule that I have to take it seriously. Wait, what? How am I the only?
Gila, Sentinel semua.
I thought
it was going to be a 50-50.
I took it super seriously this time.
And you might be the only one. Maybe you're the only one that took it seriously enough, so we don't know.
Okay, you guys, what's going on?
Okay, I mean, for me do we want to talk about the second series or just the Sen one? Sentinels, Clout, they're playing great, they crushed Genji. That's an easy pred for me.
Honestly, I agree. Like, watching that Icebox, I remember it time after time. I think that last matchup was too good not to root for them.
And people are really history-pilled on that EDG game because EDG have crushed them in China, but I think Trace have just been playing too well.
They got their number. They got their number.
Be that team again.
No.
We will see because it is time to kick off first day of playoffs. It's DRX versus Sentinels, Trace versus EDG. Day 11 of Champions Soul starts right here, right now.
Yellow, mulai. Let's go. Yellow.
HyperX. 여기까지 오는데 꽤 시간은 많이 걸렸겠지만 돌아가는 데는 시간이 꽤 걸리지 않을 것입니다. Sentinels. The harder the challenge, the higher the stakes, the harder I have to try. T，接下来我们会用每一场的比赛来证明我们的实力。G2, you guys got more work to do than us. The Vct, we are going in with maximum confidence. HyperX, if we are having a good day, good luck. Fnatic,
the road was a little bit bumpy, but we tore through it.
在最后还有我们，
Gaya knife.
一个人做好准备，那一定会是我。所有队伍都会战至最后一刻。
Kayak bootloopnya ini anjir.
我觉得 T 玩的像
kayak CS:GO
欧洲队伍，但是他们有一点中国的
bootloop
我们是冠军。
Walking towards the trip. I've been decent so far.
今天跟利维坦打完了之后，我就迫不及待的想跟其他队伍的决斗位碰一碰。我觉得现在的赛事里面，没有选手的自信强过康康。来吧 ，T， 向我们展示一下你们在世界上的进步吧，看你们已经进8强了，我们来碰碰。
Locky and Munchkin doing their best to keep this thing up, to keep it competitive. Every single member crumbling. Tonight, soul burns red. Sentinels survive.
I love my current team, and Sentinels is also a family in itself. Being able to play with a group of people that I really enjoy playing with is just amazing to me.
Yeah. Genji, everyone has to buy the Sen bundle. Okay. The underdogs again.
Master lawan master, anjir, juara master.
Absolute cinema.
The original kings of Korea do what Genji could not, and they punch their ticket into the playoffs.
이제 작년 식스맨으로만 있다가 이제 5명의 원년 멤버로 챔스에서 가장 진짜 항상 좋은 결과를 내는 걸 보고 좀 멀게 느껴졌었는데 지금 이렇게 하고 좀 이제 강팀들을 이기면서 좋은 성적에 달려가다 보니 좀 이제 먼 게 아니라 할 수 있겠구나 나도 이제 우승을 할 수 있겠구나라고 생각했고 진짜 꼭 우승을 하고 싶습니다.
The last hope of Pacific, the last Korean team in this tournament heading into playoffs. It's a lot of pressure on those guys.
한국에서 이제 오직 한 팀, 젠지만 강하다고 생각하신 분들은 정말 잘못된 생각이고 저희가 모두가 컨디션이 최상이라면 이 세계에 있는 어떤 팀이 와도 절대 저희 팀을 이길 수 없습니다.
Gelo, mulai guys, mulai. Woohoo! Sentinels. TRX. Kita ke Discord aja lah.
The scriptwriters knew exactly what they were doing. They give us the villains versus the remaining hometown heroes on day 1 of playoffs. And no matter what happens, it's going to be a banger. But the map pool, though, talk me through this.
This one's pretty interesting. We're seeing Sentinels start on Sunset, a map that was so strong for them early in this year, dominant in kickoff, dominant in Madrid, but that they've mostly shelved, only showing it once in stage 2, not yet here at Champions either. So I think the big question is, will they go back to that same Breach Gecko comp to kind of set the meta, or do they have something new?
I think it's so interesting coming into playoffs. We're not going to see the Abyss. It's still that second map, but DRX is not going to take it. They've shown what they can do in the map. They know that the preparation that they did for Genji, they do not want to be next. So Haven's going to be the second one. I agree with you. Like, I'm very excited, and I think that most of this matchup is going to be decided on the Sunset. Sentinel's going to repeat that situation where they win all the pistols, they convert the bonus, they start so strong, they have all the reads. It's almost impossible with how little show-ins we've had so late.
Sure, I do think it'll be tough to do that again. I think what they did against Genji was a lot of specific prep, but the form they have, the confidence coming off that win, those things will definitely carry through into this matchup. And for me, I think that Haven is kind of a flip in this pool.
Yeah.
Both these teams are playing the same comp. I think they both play a really similar style. Defense but retake, heavy with some ideas for kind of early fights with that creep Sova into lobby. A lot of really slow, good mid-rounding on their attack side. I can't pick out a clear favorite there. So I think a lot comes down to this Sunset and what Sentinels have to show on a map that they've not played in quite a while.
Let's take a look at the Aghann select.
Neon versus Neon nih guys.
Sas is going to be moving
Oke, cuman ada inisiatornya, cuman beda doang. Sofa sama Bridge. Oh, dia ada dua inisiator. Ini dua inisiator. Oh, ini Sofa sama Fate. Iya, Sofa sama Fate doang yang beda. Anjir, kondisinya tipis-tipis gitu sih.
Well, thank you very much, you two. It's time to toss it over to the two people. Like I said, I'm never wrong about anything.
Tadi mapnya siapa ya?
Yep, the famous caster pair, Omniscience. Yeah, blessed of it. Yeah.
Predik gua kok predikatorik lah. Duit gua habis ya.
Started this year off for Sentinels. It's what really formed this consistent
ini DRX 200. Gambling aja 200 DRX.
Coincidentally as well, it also got them on that run heading into Madrid.
Shutting out.
Year off for Sentinels. It's what really formed this consistent
Let's
roster.
Go.
It got them stable in terms of the players that they actually wanted to field. And coincidentally as well, it also got them on that run heading into Madrid.
And now we get to watch them clash as our opening game of playoffs. They're up here playing in the big leagues. And look at this to set up the pistol round. A 4-player defensive stack coming through to defend B main. They've read this perfectly.
A hard read by Sentinels. Holding their ground as well. It's going to be util used. Pound for pound here. Bar for bar. Almost shots are fired.
Oh,
blind. It was good towards the back of the pillar, but it just.
Kalau Basnya nggak mati dapat banyak aja.
Claim the day here.
Oh, GG.
In their hands.
And that threw a great read for Sentinels.
Gila. Udah double gaming, cok.
Every bonus against Gen G.
Iya, ada emot-emot ginian anjir.
To be able to succeed.
Ahali shish.
From Foxy9 and Mako completely ruined what Sentinels were going for. Sen needed a bit more of a spread out position so they didn't all get hit by every piece of utility, and yet the dump worked.
Gila.
Get off onto a much
Apak
better
pret yuk.
Gen G did in the same spot, and we are going to be making those comparisons regularly, because how could you not? Number 1 versus number 2 Pacific team, our 2 Korean teams playing on home turf. Sen's already taken one of them down, but you might think Gen G were the harder of the two. That is extremely debatable.
It's still up for debate, right? I mean, DRX, I think, have shown a very, very deep map pool. Even in the lead up to playoffs, the player form as well individually has been looking large and in charge. And I think that this is a team now that has that responsibility of being the sole representatives of Pacific in the playoffs. Not just that, but also the sole Korean team with Gen G out.
No, DRX care anjir.
Enggak
kayak PacarX anjir. Care. Ah, kalau PacarX mah udah gasin, nggak check corner, nggak apa.
So that Gen G didn't just get knocked out by a bad team. I don't think there's much chance of a lot of the Pacific fans hopping on board with Sen over DRX, considering the position that they're in. Korean team, last Pacific squad. Surely they're just going to snowball and pick up fans from those other teams as it goes.
You have to imagine.
They found themselves in a really easy post plan here. Sentinels went for the gamble stack over.
Wow, udah mulai di stun anjir yang lobby di stun. Nah, udah mati. Tapi ada backup. Ih, gak disadar anjir. Ah, nice.
Aftershock is committed by Celsius. Just for the kill towards the end here, but it won't be out. Garnered off the back of it, no real guns there. At least the Bulldog. Celsius keeping it in his hands, but he might just go down anyway. Yes, he will.
Choose to go down with the Bulldog there because you'd rather have the Vandal or the Phantom into the next. It makes a lot of sense. DRX not chaining up towards any massive ultimates to get online, but there is a possibility that they might be able to get something like the Neural Theft out for this next round. This is where the danger can certainly start to happen. It was remarkable the way that Sentinels won all of those pistols in the game against Gen G, because historically this year, that's actually been a big weakness for Sen. They've been one of the worst teams in terms of the crop we have here at Champs of winning those pistols. So this is still familiar territory. The job now is to make sure the DRX don't snowball.
To do just that, it's the same old game plan so far from DRX. They get easy access over towards B main.
I love that idea though. They're hoping to see if anybody was playing aggressive in B main and catch them with that recon dart.
Aduh, timing Mako. Ya, Mako mati nih mah, Mako.
It's going to come through. Players towards the back of the side.
Dia udah masuk.
Potentially play off. This is just a bit of raw spam. In play through the cage.
Aduh, dia nggak di-trade anjir.
Somehow walks away.
Alah.
Flashback. Sole survivor. A minute left into the round. 5 bullets. Tens is holding for the peak at just the right time. So
was Bane reloading? Was he blind? How on earth did Zellsis swing into a crossfire there and somehow make it out unscathed? That's kind of ridiculous. It's put him actually ahead. The breach on the other side, Foxy9. Look at this. He's in. It was a reload. Just looking at it in the replay there, Bane is stuck in the reload animation and can't punish. He just has to watch in horror as Zellsis swings through the front side. Yeah, very.
Ger nggak sih DRX yang tiba-tiba langsung juara?
Watch these B main hits though, because last time we saw them.
Yang udah lama nggak ke champion, ke master internasional, tiba-tiba juara, cok.
Revolves around B main where you put the trip down, someone breaks the trip, and so often there's people contesting front B main on the defense, and that play is designed to push you back as a defender, get you holding right from the start to give up B main. It is working. DRX are getting into these positions to exec real fast.
Going through the motions as well. Rid of most of this util Zellsis.
Aduh, oh nice.
Past that drone as well, so he wants to cut it up close, but DRX have no intention of heading over towards B.
Both trips broken though, so that's going to keep people on the B side. A lot of pressure here on Sassy, who was
Sassy dapat
so
paling tidak 1 lah ya. Jangan sampai 2 atau 3 anjir.
That's the paranoia.
It looks like Foxy9 setting up to go for this fault line through from tiles.
Yeah, Tass is going to get caught here. I mean, where the hell do you stand? Just
okay.
Immediately doesn't have anything to do with it. Going to be slowed down. Horns up and over the top as well. But it's the wall. It's going to reveal onto Buzz, but there's no punish in sight.
Nice.
Yeah. See, second return. At least with the kill.
Yeah.
Going for seconds. Cheeky, slightly greedy, yet he does get punished in the end with the trade still. He's turned it into that 3 versus 3. Noro theft. Given access and information towards it. Tens though, lighting up these players. And a quick tap as well through the box. Foxy9 barely on any health at all. Fault line. Threw it out, sent the supplement.
Aduh, di wallbang lagi sama Tens. Ai, mama sayang he.
Finish off that round.
Being able to stabilize here, Sentinels. It looked dangerous. Sassy's position, just holding on to A there, and yet he read the play. They didn't lead with the fault line. They led, I believe, with a recon dart. And that allowed him enough time to be able to escape, and Zekin came in. What a slide, what a punish onto Buzz.
Spike planted.
Jens continues to have big impact, as he did in the Gen G game.
Hey!
This is going to put the hurt onto DRX.
Hey! Apa lu hahe?
Certainly is going to be knocking their economy at least down. Sheriff's and Bucky in play here, so taking a step back. Sentinels spilling out blood in the water. You can see Zekin's just going to opt into the Outlaw as well.
And Senna are about to get up to some pretty large ultimates as well. So a situation where DRX could have had an opportunity to snowball, just disappeared from them. Never quite had that moment. Here's that same stun set up for Foxy9.
Dapat nih sesi nih.
Ready, holding paranoia. So both
teams
ya.
Ala dia keluar dia. Ya. Oke dah. Press. Aduh, dapat anjir sesi.
So have a pretty good idea of how they want to try and lock down this A-main extremity. Paranoid is now sent flying for tens, few stray bullets.
There.
Bit of chip damage onto the DRX players, but they are fully cut out of the picture. Needs to be careful he doesn't go down to a few stray bullets. It could offer an in for DRX in the round, and otherwise they don't really have too much of a chance off. Now B-main control was conceded, so Bane's picked this one up. There's pings out as well, but Sen have not drifted bodies away. They still have a lot of players here to receive.
Outlaw.
Yeah, and this
Aduh,
second shot is going to be missing, but not with the
Gelo Zekin. Gelo.
Into the blender.
I love that.
Wah, GG. Udah kuat ini anjir Sentinel.
What a time, by the way, to pull out Zekan's first game this year on Neon. Going into the playoffs, change around the comp. Everybody's looking at this game thinking, oh, okay, DRX's map pool is looking good, but maybe Sen can win on the Raze maps. We come in here, a Raze map, and Zekan swapped over to Neon. Sliding all over them. This is a pick that we've been looking forward to all year long, but we've been denied it until now. Was this the ace up Sentinel's sleeve all along?
It was match of playoffs as well. These are both teams, you know, they're going to want to be putting their best foot forward, I think, to try and get that early lead. You can argue that they might be in, quote-unquote, the easier side of the bracket, I suppose. If you look at the opponents that they might be going up against, like Trace and EDG, the potential winners of that matchup. But again, up for debate. We've shown a lot of parity so far of a VC. This guy here was one of my, you know, we were kind of discussing, I think, ahead of time what might be this DRX squad, because they have a lot of green players, almost green as grass. It's up to Mako and Buzz as the veterans to try and push back and get the morale backing up. And Zelsis, he knows how to push the buttons.
Oh, he certainly does. You watch Zelsis in any game like this, where he's playing against people and he knows he has the experience advantage.
Yeah.
He loves to press on the wounds. Any kind of gap that opens up, he's going to try to wedge that bigger and bigger. By taking liberties, by pushing players, spraying in their faces and trying to wide swing onto them, all sorts of little tricks he'll pull out to try to win the mental game.
Yeah.
As they did when they lifted their trophy this year in Madrid, by kind of booming Gen.G's mental on Icebox. This is the point where DRX need to rally, and Senna hitting them, trying to hit him with a haymaker early on.
Yeah, that's a nice little fast play into mid, just in case there was one player catching the contact. They break most of the util. They don't hold on to the space. They're happy to concede it, give it up, back away for now.
Ideally, this is a round where you want to be fighting before Foxy9 can pick up an ult orb and get into position to use that Rolling Thunder too. So I think that's another reason why it's a great timing to go for an early play like that. Just didn't find anybody. So now it kind of becomes the game of, is Foxy9 allowed to get this ult orb in B main, which it looks like it's going to be uncontested, and then how does Sen play around it? You've got to make it feel like you're on site. You can't just play fully off site. Teams are too good at that kind of stuff. They're just going to walk in. So you still got to apply a little bit of pressure while not getting caught.
Shotgun's going to go flying just in case.
Dapat Zekan ya.
No.
Aduh, Tens di situ mulu. Matilah, dicek. Spot Tens itu pasti di situ anjir kalau di market.
Himself up to take the fight into the 1v1. Foxy9 with a plant. No pushback from it, and now he's earned the ult into the post. It's a Nightfall going to be used to try and combine their might with a Rolling Thunder, pound for pound to push them back once more, and a flank occurring from behind.
Nice.
Unaccounted for. Second though.
Aduh, mako mati, cok.
Utility is just perfect.
Nice, Foxy9.
Alive for now on a 1v2.
Ah.
Play the fight properly. Sassy able to beam him down, Phantom in hand, keeping that form flowing from the prior matches that he's played so far at Champs.
So DRX's idea there was that they were going to get into sight and use the plant to get that Rolling Thunder online, not give Sen as many cues as to where they were on the map and where they were going to be hitting with it. It's even a nice
John Kitty mana kenapa nih? John Kitty.
And yet,
John Kitty kenapa nih? Buka headset.
As soon as that Rolling Thunder came out, there's a Nightfall, there's their own Rolling Thunder in response, and they collapse, utilizing that pace that the Neon gives you to be able to scale up onto site really quickly.
Sentinels are one of the leading teams in terms of retake success. Pretty good at that regard, and I think the Neon, like you said, I mean, just the amount of util that they've got, you can see how Zelsis was helping Zekan get into the site. Playing off of all that high tempo, the fact that you can just get straight up in there. And headset off, you know what that means?
He just wanted to take a break, his ears were moving. Is that what that means? Sure. It looks like we've got a bit of a tech pause. Presumably some kind of audio problem?
Yeah.
It's all right. What on earth?
What is happening here?
He's trying to polish Sassy's head. Listen, as a fellow bald guy, I know this bit.
Yeah?
I know this bit.
And Sassy's not giving him anything.
Dude, Sassy's looking like a fresh bowling ball today, though, isn't he? He's got shine out there.
He doesn't need it.
Bald recognizes bald. I've seen
yeah, yeah. I'll be there with you soon.
Apa nih?
Yeah. We have an audience that a large amount of them are likely to go bald at some point in their life. You laugh it up while you're out there.
But yeah, but it is about 10 years on from them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've got a lot of time. They can't laugh.
Yeah. Enjoy your hairlines while you have them. No need to zoom in on tens. I mean, that guy's got a great highlight. Yeah. We've got a little tech pause here, though, but I think this is going to be a particularly bad time for DRX. Yeah. I know, obviously, this hasn't been done intentionally, but
headset. Yeah.
To skew on the fact that they have now let 4 in a row go the way of Sen, and especially when you see like the way that Foxy9 was taking that 1v2, for example. And his aim is all over the place, to be honest.
Anticipating that players would be out, like the crosshair placement's kind of so slightly off.
Yeah, and just the aim itself and like the mouse control was a little wonky, to be honest.
What we were talking about, maybe the nerves playing a factor, because this is, you know, despite the fact that you've seen the name DRX at multiple events before, it's a very different roster this year that's turned up to the final international event of the year. You've got essentially the team being led by Mako, Buzz, being pushed into this position as the veterans who have to really pull up the morale when it gets knocked down, which we've seen evidence of. Their opening match for DRX, they got knocked down. That's wishful thinking.
I mean, we might see one.
We might see it.
We absolutely
been good for
could
it.
see it.
I didn't mean to slander it.
It's cool as well to see the interplay between the rookie players and the veterans on their own team, but also on Sentinels.
Yeah.
Foxy9 looking up to Tens over the course of his whole career.
That's right.
Because Tens has been in the game for such a long time, and he was an icon of early Valorant. If anything, he's probably only got more popular as time's gone on.
Right.
But he was much more popular than any other pro at the beginning of the game, and it wasn't close. And so people like Foxy9, who weren't around at the start of the game, idolized this guy for all that he's been able to achieve.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, Foxy9 looked up to him. They have a very wholesome interaction that always occurs as well if they do cross paths.
Okay, and I'm taking a look. We're back in the game here, round 7, and Sentinels are 4 stacking over towards A to start this off. You'd be forgiven for thinking that that's the team on the eco taking a gamble, but it's not at all.
It's a kill trip setup towards the back of the side, John QT.
A very passive
Very
kill trip
passive,
setup.
so he's holding for aggression. But B main control, given up, turned over towards Bane. He's going to try and hold on to that space while the rest of his team looks for picks, looks for opportunities out through mid.
If this cam gets broken, John is going to struggle massively to maintain info in this area.
The all offloaded. Buzz is going to use the overdrive to try and barrel his way in to the side again. We know
John can't even play off these trips.
To the back now, that's a Hunter's Fury to Subflubber. Tripped up though, caught up. Buzz deals with it nicely, and have given up full control towards the back of the side. Sentinels. Open space here, but now they want to try and make this retake happen through the market area. This is going to put the pressure on the Mako. Paranoia, stun, all perfect. Alternating the lanes up. Buzz is going to have to play up into their face with the right click. It's going to be rewarded, but not enough for the second kill. Zelsis, a stave off Foxy9 in through the back of the site, up and over as well. Too many targets to overcome, yet still, Foxy9 does himself another one.
Tika manis. Wow. Wow. Es dong. Ih, merinding. Wow, gelo. Gelo, Mas Zeken. Ngeri-ngeri sedap, boy.
Which is wild. Absolutely bonkers. I mean, he's been a phenomenal player all season. He's only gotten better, actually, as the year's gone on.
Gak kena
He still
itu.
hasn't had an ace this year. Pulls it out. In a round, actually, where there was some serious danger, too.
Oh, gelo.
Be completely open. They had to get back in there, and it looked a bit tough. John doesn't have any armor. Now, of course, John's going to buy armor. Oh, he does.
Oh, just in time.
Clutch.
Almost falling into the IGL debuff. Through a bit preempted potentially, but it does push DRX away. They don't want anything to
Hati
do
dong flashback nih. Kalau maju. Aduh.
Operator in the hands of Zekin.
Kenapa lagi nih?
Got a sight set now, and it's really feeling that pressure. Needs to be
Rame. Flashback mati. 1, 2, 3. Tetot. Aduh. Kecil doang.
Maintains that composure. Doesn't take the shot just from seeing the shoulder. Still there, but doesn't.
Ah, Zekin yang mati ternyata.
Information there for him. Tengkyuuuuuuuuuu still tucked up into the corner. Might be able to play spoiler. Already
Udah ketahuan John Kitty. Uh-oh.
Coming out with all the answers for it. Still sassy. He's there. Forced spray down to the operator. That was dropped down into main from Briar. Here. The post-line position of DRX. We slow it down.
Uh-oh.
Just looks impeccable. Last one. Just Celsius to stand against it, and he's not even able to save that rifle and scurry away with it. So DRX back in it. Stop the bleeding.
Not just that, they've actually identified the weakness in Sentinel's defensive setup. Yeah, it's only the first rifle round they've put on the board, but they're now figuring out B main is being given to them mostly for free. Okay, this time Zekken was there with an off, but also Market has
dikasih tutor OP sama flashback anjir. Di Zekken dikasih tutor, bos. Gini caranya main OP, bos. Ngekill.
Sorry, Kaplan, that's the coach.
Yeah,
has hit the red button. Yeah. I suppose, yeah, it could be either of them. But they've called a timeout in this position, and I think it makes sense because at this point, TRX have figured out what's going on, and they're starting to vacuum up the space around the map.
Bracketnya
if
bisa
Sentinels have the depth for it, this would be a perfect time to start adjusting things and playing a hard anchor in Market. Maybe John plays in that kind of position, or trying to play Zelsis, Tens, Zekken as a three-man stack to go and take B main control at the start with that one way and the stun and that kind of thing. You know, shift things up a little bit, change that defensive setup, throw the RX off after they've just got the read on what's happening. When you're in the lead like this, you can afford to take timeouts to try to stay in the lead, and it's going to be a challenge for DRX here to figure out what's adjusted.
See if they do alternate the setup, as you mentioned.
They did try to alternate the setup in some sense just by picking up that operator and giving it to Zekken.
Holding it down through B, because, I mean, DRX were doing a lot of contact plays in through B main, not using too much util.
It wasn't really contacting though, they were breach flashing, they threw a recon, like they were sometimes stunning as well.
Now you're seeing it. Take signs of life.
And this setup designed to try to catch John Cutie. He backs out of there early on, and Zekken's taking contact in Market with his op, hoping that DRX again go for that kind of contacty play through Market.
Noise bait idea from DRX, you could see it. Just from the way that Buzz was hopping around, getting the noise, but out one-way smoke propped up. Here we're using the drone.
I like this. You push Sassy off the angle, you make sure that Sentinels do not have info in this side of the map, and then you can go back and re-hit over towards B.
It's Zelsis over.
It's absolutely looked like B has been the favored site for DRX to hit, and I don't expect this round to be an exception to that.
Do they get players already inserted?
Do they get a free cross on mid? Is Zelsis going to try to contest? Looks like he's not thinking about it currently, but they could walk into the off.
Poke up, shots in the face.
Wow!
Up from somewhere. That's Mako, right? Yeah. So Bane just couldn't see a bloody thing there, but now I know at least the operator is back online too. With 30 seconds left, they've got no pivot options. Gonna have to overwhelm this A setup. Assassin's got Eddie stuck. Can't quite hit that first shot. Accuracy sees as well as
nice.
But trade inside, at least from Tens. Now backs himself away, retreating to the safety of the site, and there's holes all over the place here. DRX attempting to make the most of it, but with only a few seconds to remain.
Udah nggak ada waktu.
Ran dry. Have to back away, keep these guns into the next, if they even can. But they're being hunted. Zelsis punished though.
That gets Foxy one away from Rolling Thunder. At this point, DRX need big ultimates to get across the line. Sen, good tag timeout. Small adjustment, not a large one like I was suggesting, just a minor adjustment of where the operators played, but a good read that DRX were going to go for another one of those B splits. I think DRX should have adjusted that though. I think, you know, when your opponent's when you just won a round with a B split, and then your opponent takes a tag timeout, I think you should probably be adjusting as well.
Dibutain temennya berarti ya tadi ya.
Similar B split strat. Zekken looking like he wants to take the orb towards B main. It's a difficult area because that's where DRX have been putting most of their early pressure. But this time, the side split, and they force out Paranoia early on. This all a distraction for Mako to slink through.
Oh, Mako udah di Oh! Aku udah di spawn, cok. Bah. Bah, flashback dapat, nice. Nggak expect, Mako udah di sini. Haha. Wait. Hits. Backside satu, masih expect dong. Oke. Ini kenapa sih dut-dutan anjir live-nya?
Just gambled incorrectly and forcing a save out of John QT.
Beautiful set round that DRX have pulled out there. That's the kind of thing that I wish they'd done straight out of the tag timeout when you know that Sen are making adjustments, but nevertheless, a great time to run it here in round 10 as well. All of that A pressure early on, allowing Mako to get a really deep timing, And they even had a second layer of Flashback going for the more conventional lurk timing too.
Yeah.
If Flashback had died there in mid with that duel he'd taken, it wouldn't have mattered actually too much because Mako could have still been that knife in the back. And DRX love doing these double lurk strategies. They run those fairly often on bind as well on their attack side, though of course we're not going to see that in the series today. But watch out, because Mako and Flashback can be a deadly 1-2 combo on the lurk.
Yeah, I'm curious if Sen are going to be adjusting their setup as well. That top mid angle has been left pretty real estate, pretty open for most of the half.
And DRX have not been really exploiting it too much, apart from the round we just watched. They've mostly been trying to hammer through B main, through A main, and work mid. Might be part of their conditioning to focus heavily on the extremities to begin with, try to loosen up mid, and then grab a couple rounds towards the end of the map, the end of the half. Tens now has the operator, and another 4 stack on A. I'm not sure about this kind of setup. It's leaving B not just weak, but passive. Even if the Sen players rotate over to help John, they're probably still going to have to give up market and B main. They're not going to win these areas back.
It seems to be at least part of the game plan whenever a bit of Rolling Thunder online or Buzz has the overdrive ready and waiting into his hands, flashes through as well, sent flying as well, but again it's that open sight, shot darts, at least removing one portion of it, and what the second trip is, Buzz knows roughly where it is, he's going to leave it up though. Got the plant anyway, now retreating into that ever lovable B main post plant. Would be a good time.
Apa sih dut-dutan anjir live-nya?
This is slow from Sen.
It is.
Against the Rolling Thunder, I feel like it could be some worries, but a nightfall at least gives them peace of mind. They know that nobody's hunkering down onto the side. Lurk spotted, flashback down and out. No effect, gives them full information. Rolling Thunder has to be used nice and early here. Paranoia alongside it, sees to the feet. Aftershock into the corner.
Wah! Mati kau Jekken. Aduh Rato. Roto tapi tidak bisa defuse.
That's a rough one from Sen. They had the right ideas, but they didn't hit the gas pedal early enough.
Jadi pengen boker gua. Si tiba-tiba boker anjir gua.
John catches the lure. They know what's going on, but this crunch into B main, a little too slow. And also I think Foxy9 does a great job there of picking up Sassy. I think he was right about to get half on the spike. Even then, I think they didn't even have time to get half on it towards the end there.
Ball util was just too strong. DRX walking in to the B site for most of the time, and now again trying to heavy conditional, at least pull some util out through the A main fight. They've been doing this quite a bit.
Aghann takes the op back. Was on 10s for the previous round. They're putting so much emphasis early on stacking players A on the defense to get somebody posted. It is working, but DRX once more start moving their way towards B main. They're never really worried about taking this part of the map. And it allows them to run these B execs pretty simply.
Yeah. Drone's used very far back just in case there is an offer into the B main angle. That's what they're anticipating. Clears most of the space again.
Tens not playing market this time. On the backside spot. It's new for him. Can he anchor?
No chance. Gila, Bas. Gilo.
No worries, no qualms.
Ini.
Mid. Flashback still going to be opting in to try and play that backstab roll and position. Tucks himself to the corner. There's a door in his face, and he can hear.
Aish, good timing. Good timing flashback. Dapat ini. Flank. Good timing flashback. Wuhu. Wuhu. Sabar bro, yang di main sabar ya boy. Sabar ya boy. Flashback lagi nge-flank nih. Flashback lagi nge-flank nih. Ayo cepet. Weh, flashback cepet. Nice. Nice. Bas gila. Basnya gila.
What a finish for the Korean team.
Sinting.
3 in a row, 4 out of the last 5. Making those adjustments and recovering beautifully.
Dia lagi nge-slide loh.
Entry is amazing from one of our best players so far at Champs.
It's been electric between both of these teams as well, and I'm sure it's just going to keep on going even into that second half.
Oh, come on.
Trade in any phone in any condition guaranteed and get $800 off
Samsung
new
Galaxy
Fold
Z
6
Fold
only on
6.
Ryzen.
Give you the wings.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Red Bull give you wings. Give you wings. Anjing pengen boker bangsat. Boker. Abis match ini baru boker lah. Match pertama. Game pertama. Gelo. Gelo.
Looking to try to control mid, broken by that one smoke that Tens places. Looks like they're going for a re-clear.
Yeah, I think that was the goal as well from Sen. They sent out the Paranoia, but no, or at least the Prowler, I should say. Here's the second one. Mako spots Sedan players, so he needs to give up that space now, back away, play the rest of his team in, of which they have arrived. And so this might just be a bit of a skirmish and a scrap.
Oh, GG, kena flash. Wow. No. Gila, Zekan masih hidup. What the? Bro. Ih.
Tito shuts him down. Gliding round. Flashback. Doesn't quite dodge the flash in time, and he has got a lot to do in this spot. 2 to overcome, and it's a little bit.
Zekan masih hidup, cok.
Sen respond with a pistol of their own. Bringing them into the lead again in this opening map. Really nicely played one too. The pathing from Zekan, I like it. The follow-up on the Paranoia is great. And also in this position, he's defending from A lane.
Habis itu nge-slide.
While he can focus on players in backside, and John trades people out in this round very nicely. Buzz needed to hit another world-class shot in order to win that one, and just couldn't quite find it in the moment. Pistols like that could end up making all the difference. Here you see a more traditional position from Flashback. Notice at the beginning of this round, the way that he was throwing the cam into B main early on. These cams, the one that's just above Zekan's head, these have huge value. That's why he's trying to break it in this moment as well. But we didn't really see John go for that. John was sitting really passive, so he didn't get caught by early round util. Flashback's willing to take the risk. We'll have to see if Sen can punish it once rifles come online in later rounds.
Rex is going to be late to the party here, still holding for that util just in case there was a player catching that contact. Tens might be the mark that they were looking for still. He's got that rifle well trained, and the rest of his team in position, taking that space. And the aggression just punished almost immediately.
A nice idea. Buzz got caught by a flash just as he was looking to try to take the fight. And here's the final player on DRX.
Pakai neon kali ya nanti ya gue ya, belajar neon kali ya. Cuman gue agak susah ini sih, mundur ke belakang gitu. Kadang bisa, kadang enggak.
In terms of their arsenal heading into round 3. Can Sen put together another bonus round? I say another, they haven't had one in this match yet, but against Genji, 4 out of 4 bonus rounds converted.
It's insanity. You know, even the most consistent teams of the world don't really get them with that much. I mean, Every single one available, they just grasp. Now, see if they can do it again against DRX, the lone hometown heroes.
Not trying to run an early play there to punish flashback.
Haven't cleared the cam either. Trip was a little bit too high, but does get broken in the end by that aftershock. And again, free reign over towards the site at second. It's already making sure to lead that one for his team. Very much the spearhead. Paranoia's be used, gliding its way out to push back some of these players as well, but time has been bought. Plan only just going down. Here's a fault line. Might be that punish in sight, not quite. In through the back though.
Wah, kena flash. Masih bisa bunuh.
Down. Just with that Spectre in hand still, it's evened out. 3 versus 3. Rifles in a few hands as well. Yeah. Tens. Pixel angle. Full confidence in his own aim. The Paranoia just missing, sliding straight past the adjustment. Foxy9 defusing. Needs to be spammed down. A few taps to the bullet shot. QT cannot find him. And a 1 round just under the nose of John QT. Stays alive at least towards the end. That's DRX essentially stealing.
Good eco dong. Good bonus round dong buat Sentinel.
It was winnable, but they've also done really solid damage to DRX. DRX actually might even have to take an eco after this. Zekken got more value than you would expect, and yes, the trade-outs were good. I like the idea of throwing a trip, actually, from the retake team as well, so that the post-planners can't push that final diffuser. All right, DRX are not going to take an eco, but spoiler alert, 3 Guardians out to play. The economic damage coming out of that bonus is pretty huge.
Very much pulling over towards the scraps, and that's a double face over towards Buzz. He just cannot stand his ground against it. Mako willing to square up, but the aftershock out and away with a Prowler. Now the fault line. You can see the layers of the util is just a little bit too good. And the flash was dodged by Zekken. Not enough though to win that fight out. Foxy9 delivers a death blow, at least with a few stray bullets once more. And this is putting an immense amount of pressure in through the back of the site. Dart needs to try and help out these players and push them back once more. Foxy9 with the aftershock. It is good. Sees now through the back once more. Sen trying to find these marks and targets potentially there. It's a rich environment. Sassy creeping, hopping over. It's watched by Bane. Can't win it. Damage done. The pre-fire onto the corner. Immaculate. And in the motion, 2v2. Bullets still remaining. Sassy can make a play with it, but opting to back away and go for the reload.
Tens has spike.
Now they're going for the refight. Tens does have the spike.
Buru-buru amat tuh lempar kon.
Would have gone for this one, but they got to watch every angle just in case. Flashback's lurking. In through behind. Tens now planting in for that backside control. Real uncomfortable post plant for Sentinels. It all comes down to these first shots that they hit and bullets exchange through the walls. No kills. Yes!
Oh, nice.
Spraying them down. Skewered in place. That's
udah GG anjir.
Less than a moment.
Gak bisa nih,
I
Cok.
don't think he even realized that second player was there. You
Boker
saw him
dulu
flick
kali
his
ya.
crosshair away and then double take. Wait, did I just win the round?
Yeah.
All of that prior damage done. The Guardians were actually still hitting though for DRX. 3 kills, all coming from the Guardians in that round. Nice reposition towards the end from Tens. You saw that?
Yeah, he did. Definitely looked away. I mean, listen. Better lucky than good.
Guys, we need to dumb this down.
Okay, we're not going to hear the exact strat, but prep for something dumb coming up. Now, I think what he means by that is keep it simple, right? Not necessarily stupid, but just go for the execs. They're not able to hold on, fall back into some classic B post plants as long as they don't have, you know, massive ults to be able to work with. And that's what Sentinels have gone for. They've already done massive eco damage across their bonus, and now following up in round 16.
Making sure that they can use some of that util. Here's an overdrive.
Ada ulti, ada ulti,
to the spike to force it out early. Then just opted to use that one themselves. Just hearing these. Oh! What is that? Shot darts rebounding. Foxy9 now defusing, sticking. Needs to be defended, but the bullet spam again. Right in through the smoke. Just finding all sorts of targets, but just Bane left alive despite the heroics. And not enough to do it. Be able to get some damage, and it is nice. With a 4-piece to finish. But still another round accrued, added to the tally for Sen.
I could not tell you how Bane's managed to get a 4K in that round. Where did the shock dart come from?
I have no idea.
How was there so much follow-up? A double kill from that. All right, but as you say, fairly irrelevant when all things are down. Take a look here in the replay and see what happens. 1 HP they're brought down to. So just a huge amount of damage from Buzz's ult. Followed up with a shock dart. Okay, but as I say, somewhat irrelevant at the end of the day because Sentinel's economy is flourishing, and now we get the rifle round. Sen.
Comes down
Oh,
to...
that's missed.
Yeah, that's supposed to land onto the wire.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter too much. Again, wasn't clearing out any positions that horn didn't.
Sen still with full control. Over towards mid. DRX looking to at least contain it. Got a crossfire setup, at least they did. It's now just down to Buzz. He's the one who's got to hold this one down. Might be calling for some backup here. Second squares her, faces the challenge. Buzz is dropped in that head-to-head.
What an electric entry.
Give me a corpse. Sage up top. Smoking the face. Tengkyuuuuuuuuu is desperately hunting for an ult. That is precarious, but barely escapes of his life. 3 stray bullets not enough. Not a nightfall. Up and around Bane. Taking a peek, swinging wide. Does win it now against Sassy. Flashes again. Overwhelming out through the back. This is Bane still helping him out. Dart up and over. It's going to be broken in the end. Spraying up down. Second is a menace right now. He's an absolute menace. But Foxy.
Foxy.
Just cannot get over the line.
These rounds are coming down to the
Hampir
wire.
menang, Cok.
Sentinel's trying to control the chaos. You heard it from Zelsis earlier on. Trying to keep things simple, and yet there's multi-kills going all over the place. Bane followed up from his success on the eco by being able to get a couple there that were massive, and Foxy9 almost managed to accomplish the impossible. But it's Zelsis who stands strong, and Zekken delivering far more than should be asked of him so many times.
We did it, baby. You can feel that, man, the vibes. Flourishing for Sen.
And another eco for DRX. Their economy's been a massive problem for them on the defense side.
In shambles.
Ever since kind of snowballing off that bonus, which DRX did manage to actually prevent Sen from winning that round, but at what cost? They've just never been able to get their eco online since.
Taking too much of a knock. That pressure out over towards A as well, DRX. As we've been saying, the economy's not good for them right now into this round. They want to shore up the A site with bodies. Praying it might be enough for them, but okay.
Oh, Makobo.
Aduh,
nggak dapet lagi, Cok.
Able to claim that kill. 10 is out in the open. There's no way he's still alive. Backs himself away. They want nothing to do with it now. Too many signs of life from the DRX players. And they've realized it entirely. Flashback. Desperately trying to retreat and try and shore up the defense over towards B, but Tengkyuuuuuuuuu's already snuck his way in there.
They already know where all 4 players are. They know that there's nobody on the B site, and John, he has to not over-push this. If he gives it away, it's disastrous for Sen.
Doesn't want to give away the gun here. Still in through. It's going to be ults committed. DRX, a Hail Mary is called and asked for, answered by Buzz and Bane. Dynamic as a duo and a clearer path to success instantaneously.
Tens.
An all here for Tens.
He can pick the spike up.
They're trying to stack it. 3 bodies. Is it going to be enough?
Gak bisa.
What a sick play! God, we've been waiting for those for so long. 3 bodies surround.
Gak bisa ditahan 3 orang, anjir, masih bisa itu, Cok.
Watch this round tick away. God. Great awareness of what was going on in that moment from DRX. That's sick.
These 2 teams are pushing each other to the brink. It feels like decision making.
And it's all very rapid, right? The tempo of this game has gone up dramatically. If Zelsis wanted to try to simplify things a little, it might be beneficial to run some slower
Masih
rounds.
cara yang lama, anjir, nahan spike.
Second is trying to entry by just knocking his head through brick walls. It feels like Sen always playing high tempo, and then DRX are matching them.
As we saw, that wrist does pay off for DRX, but now Sen, they go full throttle. And
Wah, dapet 1.
Reveal it through the back, Foxy9.
Wait. Nice, Sachi. Nice strat, Cok.
Running gun.
Wah.
Does return the fire. Turns the kill for the trade. Buzzes straight back.
Wah.
Up and over.
Ngapain sih Bas, anjir?
It is getting messy. Dart has to be dealt with. It's just in time. They'll reveal onto these plays, but still anchoring strong. Bane needs to lock and hold it down. 3-piece. Tens in that 1v2. He knows the drone is coming forward. 2-piece forwards. Flashback has his teammates back.
We are fully in the mud already today.
Seru gila.
Rounds are absolutely
Seru.
bonkers.
Gila. Seru.
A timeout call for Sentinels, and I think it's the right decision to go.
Jadi DRX belum ini ya, timeout ya?
Honestly, the fast play, it worked. It's a cool strat.
Belum timeout kan ya DRX ya? Masih 2 kan ya? Padahal dia udah kalah jauh lumayan loh. Nggak jauh-jauh banget sih.
Defines the round, but even though the high tempo scrappiness is not necessarily causing the problem or is the problem for Sentinels, I think just slowing the pace down a little here would be
udah dipakai yang satu.
for both teams to try to grasp some sense out of this match again.
Yeah, I was all too ready to praise, I think, both of these teams for being quite smart in their play. It's high tempo, but they were taking pauses at the right time and making sure it was all synced up whenever they did make an aggressive play. That last round threw it out the window a little bit. That tells me that as it gets closer and closer to that finish line, that 13th round for either of these squads, it's getting a bit more frantic, which is probably why we are seeing this send time out here. You are right, slowing it down, Josh. Might be the right call to be made. If you want to keep it simple, you can definitely do that with a nice slow default off the rip if you are Sentinels.
Zekhan might be feeling like he's got a hot hand here and trying to increase the pace just for himself. 22 kills across 20 rounds right now. Clearly the top fragger in the map.
Set the stage nicely for Sentinels to get a lot of these rounds here. Still holding on to the lead of 2. Their own map pick.
Buzz looking to try to contest over towards B. Spots out Zekhan, decides
to... nice lineup, boy.
See, a lot of these Sovas have great lineups like that. It only matters really though if you're going to go for that mid-round mid-push. Or late-round mid-push.
Grouped up through B main by Sen, but second guessing themselves.
They haven't gone for the ult orb onto Zelsis. Perhaps hoping that they can get that post-plant ult orb up. Just by Zelsis driving the spike into the ground. It's slow from Sen. I mean, I think this is absolutely what Kaplan's told them to do, is slow the pace down. But at this point, they're not really accomplishing too much because they haven't taken any elbow control or pushed like Mako off his line. They do have B main and mid, so it's not completely passive from Sentinels yet, but hard to see where they're looking to end unless this is a B split.
It's pings for a smoke out through market.
Bingung nih Sentinel nih.
You were talking about.
But now Sassy.
The trouble is, it's too little Buta. It just feels like a fake, and I think that DRX know this when they're still going to be holding it down. 3 players now anchoring over towards the B side. The camera catching that contact, and the other players taking up residence out through market and now in through their site. It's all about how they deal with this one. Beautiful stun. That's Buzz trying to make the most.
Oh, nice flashback.
Wait. Was there and holding all the angles.
Wait. Kelar boy, flawless boy.
A flawless finish, and it brings their up to 10. Now 1 step away from equalizing.
Stuck dia di angka 11 boy.
Sick awareness from Bane as well, knowing that they wouldn't use the recon dart, wouldn't need it. Threw it into Narnia, send it over to Bind there. DRX crossfires though, clearly enough to be able to deal with this, and I think you're dead right. I don't think that Sen had put enough pressure over towards A to drag the rotate.
Ini bokapnya siapa sih?
And while we were talking about the DRX economy being a problem, the whole
player Sentinel kan, tapi nggak tahu siapa player
loop of rifle round, eco round, rifle round, eco round. They need a big play here, either an individual or a strat to pull out that can right the ship, because DRX are making a very strong comeback on defense.
It's our first game of playoffs, of course, but that's what everybody's set their sights on to. Early days still so far. Essentially that midway point of the tournament. Mako is going to be challenged here. A lot to be asked of him, but I think with the fault line connecting, he's just going to be using CPs to get the hell out of there. Yep. Damage done straight away. It's barely just cutting him up. Enough for him to stay alive here, all in front of though. It is committed, and this is abundance of util.
Wah, nice Mako anjir. Nice backup. Nice. Boxy 9.
Comes out swinging. DRX with the stun to supplement the defense. These players have not been dealt with. Tens does cut itself up, just cannot land it as well, even when he was trying to control his aim down. With the smokes dissipating, open angles, and the spike in the middle of nowhere. With no weaponry really to speak of here for Sen.
Last player standing.
The round's chalked.
Bingung.
Who died. That shot from Mako was outrageous.
Whoa.
Hit by the breach ultimate. And you might think that's a huge investment for Sentinels. Clearly a mistake based on them losing the round. But they had an opportunity here to clean up Mako, clean up Foxy 9 until that happened. Shot in the back of the head, putting down Zekhan. How has he done that? I mean, he's stunned up. I guess it's just a cosmetic stun. That's got to be a tilter. Because Sen invested a big ult into that. They'd like it back at 11-11.
This round is so damn important now. The money stretched thin really for Sen.
Gila panjang banget itu, Cok.
So we've already said it's 11-11 DRX.
Trapnya.
Found that footing and more. Money flourishing. They don't have to worry about it for any point now of the regulation.
Dari ujung ke ujung langsat.
Ricocheting through.
He's under the trip.
Even, yeah, he's just got straight past that one, but it does just chew up and tag up onto Tengkyuuuuuuuuuu. He's going to go down to the kill trap as well. It's revealed all.
Oh, nice. Oh.
Buzz will fall and drop in the
Oh, nice, Bane.
Right back at him. Able to help him out with the trade. It's all just gone to pot right now.
Uh-oh.
Tagged up tens. Doesn't stand a chance there. TPs to try and at least obfuscate where he might be going, but his tag still in his face.
Uh-oh. Wah, GG.
All about DRX now. Just need to take that one more step.
DRX's defense is so much more effective than what
DRX rapi banget
when the
mainnya.
sides were swapped. The gauges, the trips, all finding value, allowing them to play for backside control, and the flood that comes in from the rest of DRX to support onto flashback is fantastic. Sen can't really get through. They're trying to break the trips, but they still get caught by both of them, and they're never taking backside. Can Sen pull out something to get us into OT here?
Stray bullets going to be exchanged. No kills.
Buzz nggak dapet anjir.
Good info, but Buzz picks up a rifle now.
That's the benefit of being rich.
There are many benefits to being rich.
Oh, of course. We won't get into it. Smoked up though, through the face. Buzz is still going to try and be rooted to that spot here, mid-exploration. Needs to be value from this from Sentinels as well. To Crossfire is being held from either side. If Foxy overextends a little bit, just looks away. There are gaps to be found, but Sentinels have to be brave enough to just
mati dong. Oh, nice. Oh, GG. Udah ketahuan sesi, udah di market, udah ketahuan. Pasti ada temennya di main, udah tahan. Udah pasti ke ban nih ya, tahan. Aduh. DRX.
DRX cannot afford to lose this situation. This was a 5v3. It's crumbled away from them. Foxy9, the player who managed to get those openers, is now asked alongside Mako the veteran to do the most. How do you crack into this B main post?
Aftershock still for Zelsis too. Time pressure is mounting. You can already hear it. The spike is ticking. Foxy9, straight flash, but he needs to get half, and he needs it now.
The stick.
The only wink on Foxy9. He's got it at least. The tagged up, stuck up. Mako.
Aduh, udah bagus 5 lawan 3.
That is the miracle that Sentinels were looking for. 5 rounds lost in a row. A 3v5.
Udah Foxy9 kan udah dapet no.
And John has recovered it off the back of Sassy's support. A kill, a nightfall. John pushing into backside. And they've somehow pushed things to overtime.
Insanity.
Sen now get a chance on their defense. The sides will flip. Sen were playing super passively over towards B. They stacked 4 players A in a lot of the rounds. They're not changing things too heavily up here. Still 3 players defending over towards the A side. John set up slightly further forwards. And Ten's anchoring.
Just towards the tail end, I think, of the attack side rounds of DRX, where they spotted that mid was the weakness in the setups for Sentinels.
They also thought, though, that market was the weakness.
Shot that through. All up and over. It's a paranoia to help Buzz out as well. He's going to be trying to make this play happen. Stuns, ricocheting. Tengkyuuuuuuuuuu can still hold his ground, but he's being swarmed.
Nice banget, John Kitty mati. Aduh, Buzz ngapain sih, Buzz? Ya Allah, Buzz, kenapa sampai ke spawn bangsat?
Don't know where Buzz was going, but his team's still at a player advantage. If they get this, Foxy's one away.
Udah 4 lawan 3 ya. Calm down,
It's a hard enough retake to pull off anyway, even without the breach ult.
DRX are fully aware. Just have to play their lives. The util is avoided. The TP by Mako is cheeky if he opts in. Fakes it. Tap from Zekken. No full committal. They're scared of the mid flank. Fault Nine's there.
Nice. Udah, santai. Aduh, udah, nggak defuse, udah lihat. Santai. Tuh, 2, 3, wait, nice. Itu dia.
DRX have another map point.
Tuh, 2, 3, aba-aba boy. Dan waktu untuk spek meledak itu kan bentar lagi. Ya udah, tinggal 1, 2, 3. Karena walaupun dia ngelepas, nggak bakalan ada waktu boy. Catat. Udah tit kecil.
Point. It took a miracle from Sentinels to put one on the board on their attack side.
Flash clearing. Celsius going to be vacuuming up the orb. So unsteady though. Might be leaving a player in B main inserted, or might just opt in to go for. Towards the A site. Sassy was tagged up in the midst of all of that. I believe by the drone down through mid, wanted to break it as well to threaten like his team was taking mid control.
Definitely feels like they're getting set up for a B split here from DRX's point of view. Of course, the intention.
Sound made.
Mako.
Hearing most of this one, even sent the stun flying, a little bit of a precaution there from Foxy9. The trouble with the A side is as well, you have to kind of take it into these two waves. DRX, they have the defenders. Final bastion of players as well. They're going to cement themselves to the spot as well, but it's fakes on fakes. Guess what? Tens, he didn't give up B main control this entire time.
DRX have heard them leaving, but Buzz, I don't think fully confirmed.
Gak kedengeran apa ya?
Haunt over.
Sama Mako ya?
The peace of mind here for Sen. They're going to be trying to make their moves now out through market again. It's just fakes on fakes, but I think this is just indecision, hesitancy.
Balik lagi ke
Sentinels, you have to make a play here.
Wah, 19 detik, Cok. Emang bisa? Emang bisa? Bas! Mana lihat situ? Aduh! Ada waktu! Aduh! Duh! Ih! Ih! Harusnya harusnya Foxy9 udah melepasin dia. Nggak apa-apa deh, mati. Yang penting temennya itu udah nge-hold aja, Cok.
They shouldn't be getting them across the line when you're running in with only 15 seconds left into a stacked A site.
Foxy9 ragu, Cok.
DRX should be able to come out on top of that, and yet the Sen, I don't know, the Sen rifling mostly, being able to come out on top. The trading was decent, but I don't think they're going to be able to put together rounds like that too often. Feels absurd that they've managed
to bisa menang itu anjir. 19 detik doang Cok. Eksekusinya 19 detik doang. Aduh, kalah ini. Aduh.
Straight damage of bullet, at least through Foxy9. He might have done enough to play Tens back in.
Aduh, udah ini mah GWP.
Gives Tens that perfect time with a reposition out wide. Foxy9 cannot adjust it in time. Down to that 1v2. Heads appearing. Flashback has chances and opportunities, but the C's no connection. Just out of range. Doubled up. Send the rifling surely.
Oh, nice. Whoa.
Barely there in time.
A big one for Sassy to win.
Switching sides. Match point.
What a time.
Time out ya.
He's been struggling towards
suara apaan anjir itu?
This map after an amazing champions.
Ih, sumpah sayang banget tadi. Basnya malah ngeliatin ke elbow.
That was a very different defense setup. I've been talking about the fact that Sen need to change up their defensive positioning.
Let's go.
This time they put Zekken and Celsius hard anchoring inside market. They haven't done that basically the whole map. And And then Tens is also in B main. Swap the Cypher onto the other side. A massive difference in the defensive setup that caught DRX completely off guard.
DRX forced to call a timeout at this point, though, when it comes to OT as well, all that prior conditioning. I mean, you can tell DRX are working off the prior information during the regular time. The fact that market area, there was a hole for the Sentinels defense, but they shored it up. And at this point, playbooks start to go out the window, conditioning starts to go out the window. Sometimes it just comes down to who can grasp it here and now.
And I'll tell you,
presents itself.
In these big rounds, late on,
Ganti baterai dulu, guys.
it's been Sentinels who have been grasping those opportunities. I've been talking about the rounds as miracles, but they're also scrappy, chaotic moments where the players with more experience are coming out on top. And if you want to frame it that way, you're absolutely welcome to, because I think Sen have been able to drag close situations across the line from round 24 onwards. There's a will to win here for Sen that I'm not seeing just yet for DRX.
DRX are going to have to just win this round just to get another round, another go of OT. I believe for the first time in this map, Sen have now claimed the driving seat.
And also claimed an empty site.
Yeah, spam though, sprayed, that's Mako. Back for the short angle, pure instinct on display there with that kill. Straight bullets.
Nggak bisa wallbang kayak Tens anjir si flashbang. Flashbang. Kok flashbang anjir?
Into the corner. Looking to lay claim to the life of one of these DRX players, but now here comes the util. Flowing through, C is going to be used in kind as well, pushing them back still. Player disadvantage here for Sen. What's going to be asked of them? One way into their face, Sassy.
Udah, GGWP, udah GGWP. GGWP. Hebat tuh menang, hebat tuh menang. Ah, disortir jarak jauh. GG.
That experience shining through.
GG boy.
What performance, what tenacity from Sen. Winning the majority of those really close, scrappy rounds towards the end bodes well for them in the rest of this match.
It does, certainly does as well, but it just about take away their map pick. Up next, Haven. Don't go anywhere, you know, you don't want to miss it.
Pick M gue sih Sentinel. Nah kan krusial kan kalau gue ngepick DRX. Yang menang Sentinel di map pertama. Gue pengen boker sih sebenarnya. Boker dulu kali ya. Boker dulu kali ya. Amat boy. Nah, Sentinel DRX Sentinel. TE EDG pastinya EDG ya kan. Ntar EDG lawan Sentinel, yang menang Sentinel. Terus ini G2 sama Leviathan, menang Leviathan. TH sama Fanatic menang TH ya kan. Leviathan TH yang menang Leviathan. Sentinel terkalah nih ke lower bracket final. Lower bracket final lawan TH. TH menang sini. Finalnya Leviathan sama TH, yang menang TH. Ini nggak salah aja pick M gue anjir. Udah buka dulu lah gua. Kok masih pick M ini sih? Ini keluar dulu keluar.
Oi,
Den, apa kabar?
baik.
Menang kan Sentinel?
Map 3 ini, DRX.
Map 2, kelar.
Ini sampai map 3.
Enggak Bang Den. 2 map doang udah selesai. Udah tidur Bang Den?
Udah dong.
Si bangun ya, alhamdulillah ya.
Masih ngantuk tapi.
Ngopi.
Harus keluar aku.
Bikin di rumah lah. Lagian kalau keluar juga nggak nyampe 5 menit. Anjir, lu mau beli kopi.
Tapi mager panas.
Kirain di sana lagi winter juga Bang Den.
Kalau pagi.
Kalau pagi kemulan.
Enggak, aku nggak pernah pakai kembel.
Wah. Gue nggak tahu kenapa ya. Bang Den tidur pakai AC?
Hah?
Bang Den pakai AC tidur?
Enggak ada AC-nya kamar lu.
Anjir, bisa Bang Den ya? Udah biasa ya?
Ya gimana kulit orang miskin.
Anjir, kayak gitulah. Ya lagian Jogja juga nggak segitunya kan kalau pagi itu malam.
Dingin sebab.
Jakarta tuh. Gue nonton 3 round terakhir doang tadi. Hampir kalah Sentinel.
Overtime kan?
Yang overtime pertama kan yang menang di RX. Terus Sentinel attack. Mana lagi
Sambil main hoki nih. Oh anjir lah. Oh, even ya.
Mau kabar kah?
Udah mulai nih.
Neon, Cok. What the fuck? Ih.
Oke, Marco 1v1.
Menang si Mako ini, pintar anjir. What the fuck, dia ke garage. LOL.
Halo guys, I'm back.
The Red Bull clutch pulled away.
Oh, 1-0, Bo.
We knew it was going to be a big ask. Some of the vets on TRX. Mako and Buzz to step up. To take it straight to
Boom! Buzz, Bo!
right there. That is
Bo, Buzz, Bo!
The short range headshot
Yellow.
with the Outlaw.
There's a lot that could go wrong.
Zekken did manage to get the better end of Buzz on Sunset. I mean, just outperforming, outvaluing.
Buzz, Bo!
Buzz has been outrageously good so far. The last month, it's been bonkers from him.
Yeah, top-notch form. I mean, looking like one of the best players in the world heading into the event.
Yeah. I mean, 1 KPR versus Fnatic on map 1, 1.2 KPR on map 2. He wiped them away. If you allow Buzz to get rolling, and if you put an operator into his hands, on this defense side, he's going to get tough for Sen. Very tough.
He's already building up to it with that Outlaw. Definitely feel it, but
also quite a lot of respect given too, right? DRX not having anybody that just keeps the pistol into this round. So these are going to be the weapons they keep to the bonus.
Yeah, with that investment. Let's TP's up over the top here. Tens has potentially found himself a slight gap, but no, players are just weaving in and out and around him. Will he be able to get away with a gun? Not quite, so Foxy9 puts him in his place.
Ya, nggak ketahuan dong Sachi di situ. Ketahuan.
Good cleanup. Only one player is going to be ecoing in this round for DRX.
Ada Bang Har.
A bonus that's got some bite.
Siapa lagi? Orang dari tadi di sini kok gua.
I was about to say, it's tough to know who should be expected to be a favorite in this map.
Right.
DRX have been better if you look at what they've done on
Team
Haven all year.
Ace.
But recently, that game against Crew just sticks in your mind.
Yeah.
If they can shrug that off and get back to their normal performance, it should be a really good map for them, like Termin was talking about.
And he's got to be careful here because already A short control, relatively lost. He's got to hear this drone now and should be calling some form of backup. Very deep committed smoke as well. Drone only just being broken. DRX happy to give this one up actually for the retake. So it's pulled a lot of util out of Sen, anticipating that they could be anchoring.
I like that clear as well. Great stun that Zekken throws out. Tens teleports up to punish anybody that might be tucked short. They've clearly put some thought into these Neon execs, same as Sunset.
Celsius just sidestepping most of this util, not a paranoia up and over. That's a dash!
Oh,
Committed, a bit confident and overconfident by Buzz himself, still locking down the angle. Zekken have a hard task, at least with these players, dodging and weaving up and around here, and it does set him up, at least flashback for that kill. Celsius trying to avoid this one up and around the cage.
Nice banget sih, nice.
Loosely. Damaged under these 7 players, definitely a little bit
Nice
messy.
bonus run.
Damage done to the economy, absolutely true. 2 rifles were all that Sentinels managed to escape with there. But only 1 Bulldog needs to be bought, and Celsius is getting pretty close to his Rolling Thunder. So I don't think this is as bad as it might first appear for Sen. Celsius, speaking of him, that aftershock that he used in post-plan basically won them the round. The whole point for the RX there is that they're supposed to explode in off the retake, follow up on the Buzz. And they couldn't manage it. Celsius there reaching for the trophy in real life as well.
Aggression by DRX start to start.
Whoa, nice banget. Bas.
Ludicrous! You can't be hitting those! Getting away with a spray transfer one fully stunned.
Onto 2!
Yeah, it's definitely a day of first, mate. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. And Sassy with a re-exploration. He's seeking to offset that disadvantage, but DRX, they come right back at them with that firepower.
And a great set play to crunch onto A lobby as well. Buzz wasn't shooting against people that were shooting back in that spot. He was shooting against people that were blinded up, stuffed into a corner, and yet it's still so impressive, the mechanics on display there. Here's that paranoia thrown out from Mako, but the follow-up from Buzz, genuinely unbelievable. The spray control, even just onto tens is amazing, but then to catch second?
That's ridiculous. I do love a good delayed A lobby fight.
If you let this guy get rolling, he could walk all over Sen. Zekkann's got to be able to match him pound for pound. And with the hero rifle in his hands, Sen putting their trust in the young superstar.
Seeing if he can get that ball rolling, but wasn't offered any players. Mako. Got a feeling that that's leaning over towards B as well. Bullets landing, not dropping him though. Dodging around. The drone is going to be used up and over. Dart through the back as well. Big reveal. The posturing sent away. Now looking to lean there. He's taken to the C side. Flashback is there, ready. He does have the rifle towards the back, but is it going to be trained well enough? It's striking tens, just in time, but it's traded. Tengkyuuuuuuuuuuuuu. Rifle play. He did a reign supreme.
John's picked it up.
So a bit of recycling occurring here on front again. These DRX players Spain could not escape. He's not the eye of that one. Buzzes right back into it. Plenty of players that are weak. He's forced to concede up that space and concede the round.
What a thrifty for Sen to be able to pull out. They only had one Vandal to work with, and Zekkann made use out of it. Cool macro idea as well, called by John. That fake into B. John had already taken the space in garage and was ready to break the trip, give that away as late as possible. But they did DRX dirty there, just taking them out one by one, slicing off a single player at a time.
Thrifty. Deng deng deng, Mastercard keluar.
It's a dangerous element, I think, of Sen's overall game plan. Not just game plan, I suppose. This was not really planned, but it's their ability to just jump on opportunities when they're presented to them.
Absolutely. And that's what Buzz is trying to do at the end there as well, right? He's trying to find that timing back right before the neural theft comes through. Buzz, Blade Storm in hand, going to be popping that one and trying to get value out of it in this round. And then maybe working his way up to an operator.
Revealed up. Where Buzz is, at least with the Blade Storm as well. Sen could scurry away into an opposite direction.
No trip over towards garage here, completely clear. Double kill trip on site.
Just trying to play these players in as well, out through the back of the side as well. Stun, again, ricocheting cages. These are trying to help out the anchoring players. The Splashback is going to try and get them south, tucked into the
expect dong, flashbacknya di situ.
Second, no more, despite the paranoia was quite good. Aftershock now will clear out this player. Flashback, it's a miracle that he even gets the one, but Mako just trying to break their ankles. The unexpected angle, Buzz is
aduh Bas.
Slicing and dicing. No
Ih, nice banget.
Done, surely enough tens.
Balik ke A.
Barely out of dodge.
They had 10 HP between them there, the final two players on Sentinels. Tens, with the majority of that, still only on 8.
A massive advantage still here for DRX, like you said. It's on 8 HP. Drone, saved for a rainy day, will clear through most of this one, so Tens could not play the off angle like he was hoping. Now just holding it. Shallow into the play. It's going to have to be pure, perfect, precision, whatever you want to call it. Buzz is there, instantaneous with the trades.
For a moment, looked like Tens was posted on the right line, but Buzz is good for it. Takes that kill, takes the defuse. I don't think he's going to have enough money to be able to go for the operator, though. It looks like he might need to help out his mates. Tens was great trading out kills all throughout the site here. It was all that the RX could do to hold on. Did manage to push things across the line.
Did well at least to give him an opportunity and a chance in that spot.
And actually, they've gone with a judge onto Flashback so that Buzz can have enough money to go for the operator himself.
Interesting.
So here comes the op.
Might not be expecting it.
They've smoked off their own op here to disguise the fact that Buzz is going to be playing in this direction. Normally, a smoke in this position means the op is not really going to be playing there. Why would the defending team want to smoke off their own operator? Just to disguise it and hope that Sen fall into the trap. They're not at all.
Rips chewing up Zekken. Luckily, nobody wants to decide to play against it, but the spam and the bullets, yep. Raining them down onto the players. It's a narrow choke point that makes it very easy. Orchestrated.
Si John.
Through the gut of mid, drops down the cage. He knows he's getting cleared by that drone. Had to evacuate.
He was in a nice spot to try to listen for any defensive rotates.
AOP. Udah dipantekin. I
get info.
Ke-distract. Masih bahas ke-distract sama si Zekken.
As his life made that much more difficult. Contact plays by Sen going to be called on the back of it.
John Kitty, iya saya pernah liatin di market. Iya, kalah sama Judge.
The judge in the hands of flashback does work out, but Buzz is getting squeezed. But he's isolated one of the fight still, right from behind. Zekken tracking immaculate. He's been putting in the hours. Definitely shows. Zelsis with a plan, nothing to push it back. So it's a 2v3 to get themselves back into this still. Disadvantage for Sentinels. Need picks. You can need them now. Open angles.
No spot.
Fade.
I don't think they saw Foxy9 in heaven.
Holding for the flank. It's a paranoia from DRX, sweeping its way through, dropping down, clearing most of the way. This is methodical by DRX. But again, it comes down to these opening kills. Util into their hands. There was a chance and opportunity here in the TP. Mako is covering this angle. Foxy9 diffusing, sticking. It's already half.
Aduh, udah di-expect aja di atas. Alah. Mati dong, Zekken. Ay, masih hidup. Ih, gila. Udah HP loh.
To his name. What is that?
Insanity that Zekken survives.
Multiple opportunities for Foxy to try to tag him with just a single bullet. The whistle of a bullet going past him would have dropped him at 2 HP. Foxy couldn't quite find the moment for it. Zekken played around that perfectly, drawing him off the defuse. Zelsis also put the fear into him with that fault line. Sen clutch 2v3. DRX, they've looked like a great team out today, but in the clutch moments, in the chaotic, scrappy spots, the Sen quality is coming out to shine.
Resilience as well that definitely shone through in a Madrid run. Veteran quality that they have ready. Buzz is just down by the ankles there. He was way out into the open.
Kayaknya gue telat deh.
Rifle finding no value. Smoked off though and recovered. Flashback picks it up. Looking to.
Cuma dia sendiri yang punya senjata anjir.
DRX, they went for the flood defend in that previous round instead of trying to have Bane throw out his Hunter's Fury. It is still available, but he's posted up deep. They're constantly trying to get info on Sen.
Udah info nih, cepet oi.
Not gonna be able to hold on to this though.
Aduh, kena stun Bin.
Flashing.
Mamam, kena Sheriff. Aduh.
Rifles will make short work of these players. Off onto the flank.
And the hero rifle was flanking the whole time.
Bad trip.
Yang bodoh flashback.
Giving away at least one of them's back here.
Capek-capek mau kayak gitu. Flashback kena.
No, don't worry guys, really, it was only me, the Cypher. And he can also save this weapon, hoping that someone falls into the lap of Mako. But this is Sen tying things up 4-4. DRX have got no chances left in this round.
Might be a good thing for DRX that they just walked into the trip too. Sen might not fix it.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a couple of different trips that you want to go for. That trip is actually still really good for defaulting over towards C and Garage at the start of the rounds, because it still does block, like Buzz, if he wants to push up deep onto an angle in A lobby. It'll stop you, getting pressured from behind.
Yeah.
But then when you go into A, you really want to be picking that trip back up and replacing it near the mid window, because that stops that flank as you commit to the A side coming from behind.
Yeah,
but to be honest, little details like that will very easily get lost in the middle of rounds, where stuff like timing is much more important.
Yeah.
You don't want to be sitting around messing with the utility if you have a split second you need to commit. DRX are going to take a tag time out here.
Yeah, pushed into the point where they do need some corrections. Part of it is that, even when they've just given everything to get Buzz, this operator, into his hands, he hasn't been able to get value with it.
Yeah, and part of that was because they posted him over towards A short, and Zekken ended up jumping across the sight line. They smoked him off. They actually got that information he was playing A short when he could have had the value. He wasn't given a shot though. No. There was no shot that was possible for him to take. You're never hitting a neon jump running across your screen on a tiny angle like that. So don't blame Buzz, but you're right in the sense that he does need to be getting value in order for this DRX defense to start running away. That's what Green Squad is banking on here, is Buzz having one of these blinding games. So where do you put him? Where will find the most value?
Especially if it's being mitigated. He's going to have to switch it up. They've tried to hide their intent, I think, by, you know, like we said, they put the smoke towards the back of A lobby, they put a dart in, it makes it feel like it's an A lobby fight. As you already mentioned, why would you smoke off your own offer? Hoping that somebody will walk into it,
but nobody did, and then they cleared him really effectively in the late round, even though they'd used drones. So, you know, if Sen are going to be really good at dealing with him on A, maybe you should be not putting him to fight short again, but that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
Same play.
Got Foxy9 to at least break the dart. Cam's up though. Fury. Here's a play to be made. Rolling Thunder! Shooting dart! The target practice now for Zekken. He's got plenty more players here just trying to make the work happen. Paranoia to play off for DRX. Foxy9 is inserted. Kept up close into the corner position again, and a stray bullet spam back and away to rifle aim. Here's beamed down by Sassy in the air.
Foxy9.
Sassy! A monstrous finish. And listen, could have gone either way with the way that DRX was shooting in those final moments. But he just about puts the bow on it.
I like the way that Sen took control of the smoke. And you're right, DRX started shooting back. But Sassy stepped up. He's had a great tournament so far. He had a very, very slow start to Sunset. And I was worried that today we might not see Champions winning level Sassy.
Lift this if we try harder. Hard enough. With the power of friendship.
Maybe that's how Sassy's getting resolved.
Oh my. And again, the economy takes a fall here for DRX. They're going to go for that delayed A lobby 5%. Not falling prey to it. Not again. Instead, working away over towards B now, knowing that all that util was used. Mako to be the potential of that timing. Stray shots rattled. Rolling Vonda.
Tipu daya, gua kece boy. Haha.
They're weaker bar. Yeah, they're all the way through. Mako though will deliver at least a one and a second. It's made it potentially winnable. Ult's being used potentially not in vain. Flash is good. Buzz trying to land his shots and potentially stay safe in through the back of the cyber bodies, just poking out, opening up, gliding through, spraying them all down.
Gila, main cepet anjir.
It's full momentum on their side.
It is. They've got a great read on what the defense is doing. Even the magic from Mako couldn't stop that round. Sen go in, they fake the plant over towards B. Bait out the rolling.
Pick M lu apa Bang Den? Ini DRX Sentinel.
Does it catch a single player? I don't
DRX.
think so. They were out of there so fast.
Lu Bang Har?
Picks up a beautiful lurk kill.
Gue juga Sentinel.
They know it's open doors. Their attack calling at the moment is remarkably good. And this is looking like a map where DRX...
Enggak sih.
I guess I've been banning it.
Paling final lower doang, nyampe situ doang. Gue prediknya TH loh. Tim Heretic.
Can't take it. Spots a few players, but surely not long for this world. The dash is there, stuns up. It'll have to be a no-scope to survive. Oh my! Does not quite get out of there, but the damage is done. Painful strike back here.
Telat itu dia ngidupin catch-nya.
And options for it. Operator retrieve flashback. Make sure T10s is still here. Not for long. Drop down to 30 HP. Jump in with the classic. Drops him back to that spectator seat. So DRX, maybe that's the key to victory.
Buzz will give you those, I guess. You called it out. He needed a no-scope to be able to survive that situation, and hits it. He was stunned up. He couldn't scope in. What is this round? This is the value that they've been looking to try to get from the guy, but I didn't think it was going to come this kind of way. All of the ideas there are still good from Sen. They just get outplayed. So this is now making it possible for an even half. And I think that would obfuscate a little bit of how much Sen have been in control. If DRX can get round 12, that's an amazing starting point.
Oh my god, that strain. Mako gonna get punished. The util in his
Kemana anjir itu? atap.
It's earned and his tempo increased. DRX have been struggling to hold a candle to any of it. Buzz has got to drop players and will do so at that. Chops off their heads and they know where the final few are. Inevitability now rearing through. That is decisive by DRX.
Wah, sengit lagi nih. Sama kayak map 1.
Rounds to end the half. Completely upturn your expectations of what was going to go on. 4 in a row, dominant attacking from Sen, cut short at the end.
Nah kan?
6-6, absolutely
cepet anjir. Tiap round.
Those final 2 rounds from Buzz are remarkable. He's also just destroyed pens then.
Yeah. Blaze still went hand man, he's made short work of it, enough to make it even. Still anyone's game. An explosive series that we are being treated to.
2 menit ya. Sudah half ya. Red Bull give you wings. Red Bull give you wings. Red Bull give you wings. Berkuda dong. Ah. 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 Ah.
Second have been able to grab today. Yeah. They've given us some electric rounds.
World-class plays occurring. This is Sen on their defense now.
So, looking mostly set up to try to stop some kind of B pistol round from DRX. DRX, at least at the beginning, are going over and taking some long. This is what they were doing against Gen G in Pacific very regularly. They take this control and then reset, and sometimes go into the exec. This time looks like they're going to commit, which would be a lot of pressure on Sassy.
Yeah, and he's way out to the open right now. There's really no signs of it. He's going to have to play off to the side. No timing to be taken, so...
40 seconds now until the next recon, though. And that's a big tool to not have for the retake.
Sassy holding on to the drone, though, waiting for that one. Zelsis, aftershock, down and out, in through the corner. Drone does connect and tag onto him. It's DRX, Buzz, he tried to play inside, and in front of most of his util, Sen are overwhelming! And that is an onslaught to occur before our eyes, and Mako left to pick up these pieces and do what he can. Straight bullets, damage done. Movement hopping around. There's no easy target at all offered. And now it's inevitable. At that, a pistol round here for Sentinels and a 3-piece of 10s to close that.
Even without the recon online, finding value with drone and then just barreling in together. It's a great pistol that Sen have put together, but also it's making me think about future retake scenarios. Beginning of this year, and Madrid in particular, Sen were the retake team. We haven't seen that level of perfect success yet from them. I mean, they have had some phenomenal retakes when they played.
Tyson, we got this pistol. Tyson.
When they played Icebox against Gen G, it was looking very clean. But yeah, dead even on pistols now, both of these two teams. Buzz is going to try to put a spanner in the works, picking up the Outlaw.
Tyson mo.
He's got 4 potential snacks.
So risky, though. He does have plenty of targets, but if it goes wrong, economy tumbles for one player still. That's a 140. On either side here, but it was Tens who's the one who does fall.
No charges left.
To the wayside now, and an open C side. Not the DRX are aware of it. They've slowed it to a crawl, very cautious. They just spotted a body there. Celsius has been seen, but can't quite stop the gun into his hands and pulling himself in alongside Tengkyuuuuuuuuu. Make the retreat for now. DRX is still not really forcing the issue. Buzz is going to try and lock that down. Zekken, one to the dome.
One enemy remaining.
All danger just evaporates at that. Zekken can stick this one with full peace of mind.
What a shot from Zekken. 10 HP on Buzz, but if he hits that one shot, it's just basically a fight. Whoever hits the shot is going to win the duel. And Zekken just adds a headshot in there just for style points, I guess. I like the idea from Buzz. Somebody's going to have to pay the piper, though. It looks like it's going to be Mako who takes the hit economically. So your IGL, former star player of DRX, he ends up being the player that takes the knock.
Right there.
Guardian no armor for Mako.
Yeah, I guess.
That's gross.
It is. It's nothing to work with, really. Aggression by Sen.
Countered quickly, and that tells you that the stack was over towards C, right? The defaulting players were on the C side if the fault line's going to come out that quickly from the attackers. These players on A could be taking more space right now. I think Sen have missed a little bit of a trick there.
I think the goal was to cause a pivot, though, over towards A.
But as soon as the fault line comes out as a reaction, you know that they're not quickly running A.
Right.
Same time, Sen not willing to take the risk. Mako's taking nice space.
Yeah, has announced himself ever so slightly here. Through Garage, no trip to meet them. Bullets raining down, lead on either side. They're going to push back these players as well. If nobody's watching into the smoke, Celsius might make you punish. Still. Yeah, watching it. Flash to play him in. Good adjustment. Reactions by Bane. Just flicks and adjusts in time. Zekken playing himself in. Has to worry a little bit about the flank timing here, but I think he's heard the footsteps just scurrying away from flashback. Still a hard retake, nevertheless. Two Outlaws and a Guardian in the hands of these Sen players. And the post plan from DRX does look good. It's just a smoke to cut up the sight line. Mako makes it that much more difficult to partition here for Sen. Knows the angles, knows the timings, gliding into his face. They do at least do the damage in that regard. Still, it's all being played off sight. They know they're off of it. The spike is ticking. 10 sticking. It's a few. I mean, okay, yeah. Just praying that he can maybe get away with that one.
Rifles? That's expensive. Error there from flashback, but he wanted to make sure that there was no chance of a ninja fuse in that situation.
My thanks. Oh, this is a nice spot.
It's not going to be too bad. DRX's economy still looking all right here. And now we get into rifle territory. Sen lead by only one. It's a tentative advantage that they hold. Teams little way away from those big ults that we'd be paying attention to. Where did the RX start their default?
That's full on. So not hiding anything about that. That's a lobby take. All that space that's given up here, DRX, they have a couple of options, but they instead just choose to send it straight over towards B's, and Aftershock will have to be respected. TP from Mako. Around the world we go. It's a kill trip in the face, walking up behind it. Spam and spray it down to QT. Could get punished, tries to play on the stone.
Ooh, nice, John Kitty.
The unexpected play, sometimes the better one. Plus and Foxy 9 dropped. Out of the picture. It comes down to contact plays. For DRX, it's the only thing that can bail them out of this.
Shadows traveling. Look at the passive positions that Sen are holding. Just making sure that DRX don't push even deeper than the sight that they're giving them. Happy to play a retake 5v3. They just don't want to get caught by a lurk.
Ultimate is ready.
And Bane is lurking. It's Ten's job to watch for this.
I'll play the backstab, flashback.
Cage triggered.
Goes for an attempt of it. Tens though, catches onto Bane. And the options are limited. They know that flashback was posturing himself onto the angle as well. A flash to play Zekken in, cleaning up these plays.
Terbantai-bantai.
A big blow landed early for Sen on the
Flawless
defense
kill,
side. DRX's economy is going to be hurting after that one. And the DRX idea there, they realize that there's a huge A lobby fight going on. And so they immediately call the pivot in to try to get a serious exec on B. And Celsius blocks it with just one aftershock. And I got to think, do DRX expect the breach to be playing in short? Do they think he's not going to be in position there?
But you ran back.
I was stunned. I was like, I'll come in there.
They're talking there about their committing to the retake, I believe. But DRX are going to take a tag timeout. I didn't like the macro pathing, is basically how I want to sum up this statement, though. Because for DRX to think that they could get that plant down on B, they would have to assume that Zellsis was part of the big A lobby crunch, or in some way was not connected with them over towards the B link. And I don't think there's enough layers there. If DRX want to add another layer to that, then, you know, save your flash and dash to tap the plant and then flash and dash into the B connector, the AB link. That's going to catch Zellsis a lot of the time, and it's a really standard place for the breach to be holding. But they ended up trying to get a fast play into B, got caught by the trip over towards C, and it was a little fortunate, I suppose, that Buzz and Foxy9 lined up, but if Buzz isn't going to get those entries, then DRX can't be relying on it. They've got to find the advantages in the strats.
The tactics, that macro play as well, but it's a difficult task, right? Mako is leading. He's in a new role himself. I mean, I think we forget that, despite the fact that he's a veteran.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Picking up the mantle of IGLing, it's a real hard just task ahead of him, I think, to go up against a player like JohnQT when JohnQT is calling really well thought out structured plays.
It's interesting because John is new to the tier 1 level, right? At least in partnerships.
Yeah.
And Mako isn't at all, but John's just been IGLing for so much longer.
Woi, lagunya woi.
Fight to be taken.
Sound in game woi.
Lobby. I'm sure we'll get game sound soon enough. Buzz just hopping away here. He's at the one with the hero rifle.
Aduh.
In this spot. Senna hard committing into that A lobby control, using the drone to add the next element to it. They can pave the way here now. Oh, that's a hard commit.
Wah, dia kan gila.
To the side here. This could be overzealous in nature from Sentinels, but they maintain the composure, now backing away.
I'm not sure they realized that DRX were on an eco round here. There was a possibility that DRX could have forced. That's a risky play to go for when you're on an anti-eco. They've left the C site open. There's still Cypher utility in that spot. See how far back JohnQT's fallen, just to make sure he's holding onto space securely.
Flashback still with his rifle as well. He's inserted himself in through the backside on
This
B.
is actually going to be really tough to get back into.
Clear up these players.
No one going through the B side. Everyone trying to go through this one way.
With how disjointed it is.
One way satunya gagal.
Use pound for pound though, it's slowing these players down. The rifle needs to get value. Second. He just beats him down. Mako, Sheriff, wrong target, but he does retreat, at least with the upgrade. Now he's going to try and play himself into this 1v3. Off onto the corner. Rifle spam, not enough. Sentinels now up to 10. The risky play at the beginning of this round as well. No punish in sight for it, despite the fact that it could have been that potential.
And Mako is going to be kicking himself. He almost got robbed in that spot. He 140'd Zellsis, sorry. There was only one player with full health. That was Zellsis. He 140'd him, killed JohnQT. One more bullet in that spot, and that's a winnable 1v3 for Mako. There were some serious risks being taken there for Sentinels. But risks or no, they get it done. And now a 3-round lead. It is very similar, Brent, to Sunset. An even half that Sentinel starts running away with. Can DRX find the comeback, as they did in map 1?
The 4 seconds in, leading with 20 kills here. Again, not obfuscating the intent to try and fight this one tooth and nail. Deep smoke, locked up in. Seeing if there's a player caught into the corner here. DRX is still looking like they're eager to try and refight this one. The paranoia, but did they expect this one? They don't. Second, he cuts it up. He's already got the Hunter's Fury. Supplements well. Foxy9 still maintains his composure. And the rifle aim at least intact to bring down Second.
It's good damage, but they have left B open. Flashback, taking this timing, finding his way through. Does anyone think?
Footsteps, knives out.
Kills
hopping over. Sassy gives him that easy sideline. Zellsis tries to the corner again. He will evade most of this, and it is sloppy by DRX. Despite all the aggression that was being made and played, Zellsis. 3K to finish it. Up to 11 now for Senna. At this point,
kenapa nih DRX? Q.
That's such a misread from DRX in that spot. When Flashback gets in position to get the kill onto Sassy, they just commit to the hit on A, as if everybody's now gone. I think they've just lost track there. of their visual map of where the players are.
There's no more really buffer room here that's been built up by DRX to find a path back in.
Loh, Mako tiba-tiba 1 HP, cuk.
Breach ults on both sides. Sen backing up, expecting that this one would be used over towards A. Trying to posture, make it feel like there's still people there. Seeing if they can draw it out from Foxy9. But this is an eco round.
Right there.
If you're going to use your ults here, could you not have tried to force a little more? And stop Sen from getting to 12?
Right there.
Again, it all just lands on the shoulders of Buzz. He's the one with the rifle, jiggling, cutting noise, up, down to that minute mark. Sen content to give up most of this space here. There's a smoke into the face of Sassy. He's going to spray them down! The Odin play.
Tachi.
Chopping them up to pieces. Drone off and around.
Mati lu, ada ulti. Kelar dah sama Zeken.
To put that cherry on top, flawless. Round now for Sen. And this is the series here. Laid in wait.
They're so far ahead of these rounds. DRX are taking a little bit of A-long control, hoping that Sen are going to re-clear into them. Sen are already thinking 3 steps ahead. They're thinking, we want to be way off site here in case this breach ult is coming through. Just in terms of anticipating what their opponents are up to, Sen have been very strong today.
All smiles.
The
as
atmospheres
well.
remained light, even when we were in overtime on Sunset. But now they've got 5 chances to close out and start moving on to face a Chinese opponent.
DRX with essentially one last buy potentially here. A lot of ults built up. Could make good usage of it to at least turn this round in their favor. Round 20 will have to be the case. But Sen
Oh, tadi Mako itu low gara-gara di wallbang sama si Sassy ya?
To let Sassy hold and lock this down with the Odin in play. Very predictable in terms of the sight lines.
Corsair game.
Have to be a little bit worried, but Sen are going to be trying to play
timing.
Util in his hands. That's a timing that's caught. Buzz, quick to capitalize up, draft up, but over now with the dash. And Util, it is perfection. Still the return of the fire. Here from Celsius. Still with the speed at Thorn.
Blessing.
Splash. Through and out. It's good for it, but he kind of just in time for Mako. Wrapping it around now with 30 seconds remaining. DRX to do, get themselves now onto the site, into this plant. Tens. Go to peeking. Wins a fight onto flashback.
Bad fight to go for there.
A little bit more winnable now for Tens himself. He's going to try and put that nail in the coffin. Ballsy play. Skips the clearance most of the side as well. He's looking to contact most of the way up through. Back turn Bane. Strikes him down.
Aduh, mama sayang masih bisa bird dong. Odin lagi dong. Yang Odin sekarang Zelsis.
It worked out. Buzz is going to need plenty more rounds like this. And the timing, unfortunate for Sassy to get caught in that spot. Exactly the entry that Buzz was looking for. Celsius has picked up an Odin. He's going to be spamming down short at the start of this round. Everyone on DRX is there.
I think that might be Sassy potentially there, but he sends the dart flying back and over. They are getting chewed up entirely here. Hail of lead might be enough. Hunter's Fury seeking to offset this as well. No real connection. The delay dart up and over the top. Ult. Second though has not been pulled out of this spot. Stuns. They're good for it. And here's the flood defense. Sassy not removed. Unrooted.
No. Tiba-tiba dia bisa.
Barely alive, but this is it for Sen.
GG.
A team that can often feel like the protagonists of
Menang
Valorant,
dong,
heel
pick
turn
A.
here in Seoul. They really are the villains for this crowd. DRX.
GG guys. GG.
Bubar.
Giliran menang baru nongol.
Biar gak dikatain ya.
Ah.
Apak no hope.
Masih ada lower.
Kalah Sen Envy.
Bagus.
Bagus. Ah.
Match found.
Bodoh mati-mati.
These parasites aren't going to take one step past this place. Fight! I got yous, okay? One down.
Udah keluar loh dari step.
One dead. That's 3.
Toot, toot.
10 kills remaining.
Ended.
EDG sama TE Tres.
Remaining. One kill remaining.
EDG Tres. Tet, teraret, tet, tet, tet.
I've been a nasty girl, nasty. Can somebody match my freak? Can somebody match my nasty?
Main farm lah, farm Margle Valley. Korea juga. Oke, udah mulai, udah walk out.
It doesn't matter how many teams EDG has gotten the win over them this year. It doesn't matter. It all comes down to this. This is the most important out of all of them. It is this best of 3. So it was buying second one. Remind me again. I wasn't too excited about it.
Sunset coming up.
Yeah, and for
Okay.
me, if I were Trace Esports, I want to close out 2-0. I do not want to go to Lotus against EDG. When things get a bit weirder, when it gets a bit later, EDG are the ones that have way more experience
Not against
in those
Smoggy.
situations.
Not against Smoggy.
Yeah, that double smokes comp. I mean, they cooked PaperX in the chaos with that one. I think they could drag anyone into the mud, no matter the team there. Sunset is a big question, though, because I think that's been a good map for EDG. We saw them beat PaperX. That's PaperX's best map in that last series, and have always been solid there. But
the
starting on
deadlock
Vine,
stuff. Okay, the deadlock's going to be staying in. Okay, so a little bit of history, you know, besides the deadlock that, of course, we're going to be looking into. At the beginning of the tournament, this was a third map for Trace, but it went so freaking well, they decided to pick it for the next one. What they thought was something that they prepared just in case, and that might work, ended up being something they feel very comfortable in.
they absolutely do. On this defensive side, and in the second half as well. Watch how they're using this grab net. It's like a second initiator, the amount of value Trace is getting.
I can't wait to see it. Let's send it over to your casters. Show some love. It's Pansy and Steel.
Thank you so much. The analyst desk kind of teeing this one up regionally, this matchup. Yes, EDG have got that title head-to-head on them. What is it? 5-1 record so far. 13 maps played against each other, and only 2 times has Trace managed to best EDG. However, it takes one day, one moment for it to go right, and Trace have looked outrageously good so far. But Josh, where's the difference going to be made here?
Trace is definitely looking to break the streak here, but I'm looking to EDG to set the tone. They're more well-rounded, but we've seen their highs and lows. And Trace, it's all on their game plans that they bring out in those first 30 seconds that really let us know, are they going to have a chance or not? And into the round, we got EDG.
Blinded.
Gonna get spotted at long B
Akan,
there,
guys.
but doing a slow contact into this B area.
With EDG on the attacking side, and see how they handle Heybei, especially playing that deadlock, looking wonderful in their previous series, especially against the likes of Lev. Very strong, very hard to handle. They know what's happening here. Yankee has to respect this and fall away to safety, but they look to take space elsewhere, and they've done just that. But can they close down? They can't!
Ooh, nice!
On the other side, EDG so aware of what was coming their way,
Gila,
and
rapi.
they just wipe house. It's just down to 1. In a 1v4, what are you meant to do here?
My ultimate isn't ready.
Can't use the hat. EDG. The firing squad.
Clean. I love that as well. So diligent in approaching. It shows a level of respect. EDG are taking no prisoners and not taking it lightly. Even in a 1v4, they're sat there facing CT together. I want to see what this looks like now with Trace being pressured by someone that knows them this well.
And knows them very well as well. We've seen Trace here at this event before. We've seen them play their bind, and they rely heavily on their defense side. And they've got the double sentinels, so they rely on those setups that they run. But if you don't run into the traps, then they don't really know what to do and how to rebound after that. And EDG just taking all that space, knowing exactly where Trace was going to play from, and abused it, really. Slow opening. Grabbing that orb. And EDG just taking their time, letting the round just develop, let it simmer a little bit.
And you're right, somewhat of a default if you're looking across this. Yeah, a little bit more intention potentially there towards clearing shower, but they're not in any real hurry. The furthest commitment of utility coming from Simon there, clearing out towards Hookah, but that's it.
It's going to be important for EDG to be able to convert these rounds very cleanly. We saw in the last series they played against PRX, things got very messy, very sloppy.
Here comes the burst. Clear, so far. Beautiful. EDG crossing the T's, dotting the I's. Smoggy catching Kai as well. Perfectly aware of what's happening. They have a vice-like grip on this game so far. There's no slipping through the cracks. And for Trace, you're looking to see if they can maybe achieve some damage. You've got what? I mean, really, they could afford to only really lose Simon if you're EDG. Otherwise, you don't want to be dropping the Phantom, potentially, or the Bulldogs coming out to play. But look at the progress as well towards Nobody. That ult is very nearby. That's on the horizon, potentially even in the next round it could be. So as it stands, Trey's going to have to sit this one out, maybe try and give it up to the Spike if they can, or, you know, face the music and try and feed in. But they're going to try and play Nobody forward, switching out. So he's got the Ghost here, see if he can get that ult going. If he falls, it's fine. Another step towards the ult. If he gets the kill, even better. Beautiful. Oh, they are on it today. That's clean stuff. That's the ult ready to go.
I want to see Trace do something a little bit different than what they typically do. So normally in a lot of their gun rounds, they'll set up with 2 towards B. Usually there's inside of hookah and 3 towards A. But if they do the same thing in EDG, they've probably prepared for this match. They know exactly what's going on. If they're able to get up long B for free and crunch that hookah area with that thrash, that's going to be very dangerous for Trace. It's going to be very explosive. It's going to be very fast-paced. It's their bonus round, so using that thrash is going to be huge.
And I like this adjustment, though, kind of putting the Deadlock utility in complement towards A with the deeper Cypher setup as well. So that's going to be in practice, but again, it does...
Nobody udah ada tres aja, anjir.
A change-up as well. The defense is towards long B.
Oh, what an opener, though. Perfect work. The double stack on long still holds some value. You're going to have that ult going through. You can hear it going off. It's going to check towards long. They now know at least 1, potentially 2, and they can only keep them so safe. Bianca, great shots, 2 back-to-back. But sadly for Hebe, he couldn't get his hands out of that in time. So a 3v2 here. And this was the bonus. Yes, well invested around. There's plenty of Bulldogs. They've still got this Vandal here. An upgrade for Nobody, if I'm not mistaken. Well, it's a long road back in here. These post plants are very difficult, and they've got Stall. They've got Mosh still. They've got the Viper utility. EDG have so many options to buy precious time. Kai would love a kill here. Not going to get it. Smoggy. I mean, he's just been outstanding throughout their series. I have to take a moment to give credit to him. Again, a lot of us, if you are newer to watching EDG in the last couple of international debuts, eyes went towards Kang, and that's fair enough. I think he became such a highlight, you know what I mean? The beast from the east. Fair play. But in this tournament especially, Smoggy, I mean, he's like the debt collector out here. There's no getting past him. He'll get his, man. He'll close you out rounds. He's been on the money. First big pickup there from EDG, especially converting that bonus.
And a little bit of a different plan from Trace. I was highlighting how they like to play in hookah a lot, but this time they chose to play 3B. They played to stop that long B from EDG, but EDG basically went 4 players up through hookah there and found that gap. So it's a lot of mind games coming into play here about how are you going to adjust based on how we normally play. We've seen each other twice this year, 6 times over the last couple of years. And again, Trace opening up with 4 players towards B, trying to just change things up ever so slightly, collect this orb for free, and EDG, again, setting the tone, setting the tempo, not trying to walk into any traps here.
Again, it's such a mental barrier to get past too, especially if you're Trace after the amount of history between each other.
You see that smoke on that TP? They were expecting some sort of trap play to come out from this eco round, utilizing that teleporter, but the Brim smoke just preemptively placed as they took Shower's control.
It's lovely to witness. Now leaning back in towards A short. There is still the setup here.
A lot of trips.
That could be rewarded on this. You're looking at maybe, I don't know, maybe one of the players be able to swing. There's not really many people in the positions, and they've already navigated past. Kang's not falling for this. He already knows what's up. There's the impact, though. Kai does get rewarded for that little bit of a setup. There are still 3 players here. The Danger Man, Kang on the other side. He has got that Vandal. A tap on the spike, but no commitment this time. Second time of asking. Should be going down. I don't think there's a denial. There's not. Time is on EDG's side. That's lovely. Good information on Smoggy. As said, the debt collector himself, the closer of a lot of these rounds, but Kangkang the one to lean forward, takes the space away. Kai removing nobody, but there's still numbers, and I told you about Smoggy. You can't forget about this guy. Trying to take a fair fight, you got it. But the molly goes down and denies the way back towards that spike. Flash goes in, they're trying to bring this back with stingers. So difficult to get close, and Kangkang's having none of it. Another found, beautifully navigated, so aware.
And as we go into the second gun round, we already see the showstopper on the side of the attackers here. So definitely we're going to see something being changed up. Trace instantly calling a timeout here because, hey, nothing's been going our way. They've been reading us perfectly like a book. And almost walking into that trap there for our EDG, getting caught by that tripwire. And we're going to see these double trips on the Cypher. We're going to see the deadlock setups as well coming into play. And even moving into the attack side, they have these cool map control things with the deadlocks net. But he's got this showstopper, so I'm gonna expect to see him using this to get into the faces of Trace. But again, what's the tempo gonna be like?
That's the question. How do they want to implement it? They've got options now. Timeout for Trace, as you said. Things aren't going right. Almost feels clairvoyant in approach, right? EDG so equipped with what Trace are bringing, so the perfect time to pump the brakes, try and come up with a solution. But adding insult to injury to an extent, the economy is looking very good for EDG as well. Starting to really build some funds behind these purchases. You've got, I mean, Orbital Strike's not a million miles away, so they've got a couple of key ults coming on, but similar scenes for Trace. They do have the Seekers one off, a couple away from Haybays. I mean, there are options, but it's not really just down to the ults here. It's been the overall ethos, that approach to this. I want to see a change up from Trace here. I want to see them try and get back some control.
When I look at Trace as a team, they look like they're a team that has these really good plans, but once you kind of jab them in the mouth, they don't know how to handle the situation from there. Their mechanics individually are really good, but it comes down to their fundamentals and their decision-making on an individual level, and EDG edges them out in those types of situations. Right here, kind of like pistol round opening, 3 towards long B, looking to close the gap there, but they do have the showstopper. I'll highlight one more time here.
And that puts Heybay in a real predicament. Yet to get started in this 0-4. Could do with this would be a big confidence boost, and it's gone. A trade, yes, that is the showstopper removed, but they have a 2-for-1 trade, and they have a good step towards this B site. This goes on, BNK, oh, there's no escaping, you gotta face the music, face your fate, and EDG, again, so much discipline and approach, constantly with the right idea. And Kai, I mean, it's a formality here. It's a 1v4, very difficult. Good step on the first. 3 more though. A lot to ask. Already being checked on by Choo-Choo here. Just around the corner, clean. Again, Josh, I'm not seeing ways in here for Trace. They are getting held at the door.
At some point, Trace is going to have to drop their game plan and get sloppy, get down dirty in the mud with EDG and roll with the punches. Because if you look at how EDG is approaching this game right now, they know, okay, I'm against double Sentinel. We got a Cypher and we've got a Deadlock. If we go fast, we run into the traps. So we're going to go slow. We're going to contact our way up and move ever so slightly, not to kind of run into those traps and engage those. And then they're catching them. They're winning those duels as well. Trace could easily set up more different traps, but that's not part of their game plan. So they're going to have to make these adjustments on the fly. And another eco here with a 4-man B start. They're putting a lot of pressure on this B defense as well.
And the mental fortitude to constantly have to pick yourself back up after these harrowing rounds, really. Trace are going to be feeling the pinch here after what has been a brilliant international look at them. Struggling against the #1 of their region for a very good reason. Smoggy just catching Kai. And that's a plant. That's already
close to Thrash again too.
Yeah, they've got a lot of ults building back through. Nobody, as you said, that feels like it was only a round ago, but Choo-Choo's the one to be shouldering the deepest angle so far. Mosh gonna go in, buys a little bit of time, counters any utility. They wanted to try and maybe close down towards elbow on. Turn on the flash, and then
Ooh, nice, nobody.
Light work for nobody, making it look too easy up against the pistol. And they look unfazed by this. There is a reason EDG were the team.
Udah sih EDG yang menang udahlah. Kayak nggak seru aja.
So many of the Western teams, and you're seeing it clear as day here, Josh.
It appears as though EDG are doing this whole thing where it's you're on Eco, we go A, you're on gun round, we go B. But I'm waiting for that switch up to come. We're now 6 rounds in, going into round 7 of this half, and EDG's been perfect on all of these plays and all of these reads on their attack side here. So when is Trace going to start trying to get ahead of what EDG's doing? And when's EDG actually going to switch it up and say, actually, we're not going to do this again? Because right now, full control. And that was what I was looking for. What is the tempo going to be? Is it going to be the sloppiness that we saw against PRX, or is it going to be how they were able to just fully dissect the map in their previous matches?
Trace have so many ults to play with, so many, and it's only one away as well for the Brim. Look, he can get that this round if he has the chance to. So again, this could be a huge...
That op up as well on defense, waiting for that contact up long B, but the Thrash might take it out or spot it early on.
I like the double stack Tortuga. Eventually they might have to fall back. They're trying to stand their ground. Fung Fung a little bit more time towards Long. How long does he wait here? There's the smokes. Counter 3, pull the trigger, hope for the best, but already you're seeing the fish hole come through, the Seekers going in. It's just mayhem on the site, but somehow everyone stands until then. Hebe finally tilts the scales, but it goes back instantly. Bianca still trying to hold towards Hookah.
Gila, beranian banget itu Feng. OP di situ.
So sharp. And still, even in all of that pandemonium, there's 4 alive. They've got a plant. Even in all that chaos, the composure is just so good from EDG.
If this would be your first time to watch Trace, you would be thinking, how did they make it to this part? But they actually have really good ideas with their setups.
Yes.
EDG just knows them way too well right now and is finding all the perfect gaps and making them sweat, making them abandon what they have, what's strong, and then it just denies them. The walk up there, normally we've seen EDG walked all the way into B, take those fights into long B, but here they drop the smokes and deny that op. The first time we're seeing an op, you know, I'm thinking they're like, oh, that's a perfect adjustment.
Yep.
Like, you're gonna catch them off guard. This is your first round on the board.
Great, yeah. Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Man, it's again though, this is where I have to give credit to EDG. There's only so many ways I can keep, you know, saying how well they're playing, but it's 7-0. And again, they are so heads up. They are reading the economy well, they're reading Trace well, and it's a double timeout in one half. They are feeling the pressure here. And I think this does play a little bit towards potentially the teams like, who was it? Vitality and Lev just not really taking Trace as seriously as they should have done. I mean, it was a wake-up call midway through those series going, wait, these guys can hit back. Now, EDG have never been surprised by that. They've faced them numerous times, but it's the read and how intricate they are reading this game is such a big difference maker.
Burning the second timeout in the first half. You're down 7-0. This is your map pick. And you're probably thinking to yourself as well, if you don't get bind, how are you going to make it all the way to that third map? This could be a quick 2-0 for EDG if they don't change something up right here, right now. They don't have the best ultimates to work with. They do have Orbital Strike on that defense, so maybe helping them with a retake. But right now, the issue isn't about how they're retaking. Right now, they can't even hold the site.
And I think there is, when we talk about the mental game as well, you're facing a favored team that you've struggled with regionally. You're coming here to the international stage. You've done really well. I mean, Trace were the Pick'em's destroyers. Absolutely.
Yes.
They surprised so many, and I love to see it. But is that mental effect here, trying to face a team that you know has bested you in the past? They're not favoring themselves in the fights. They're not taking this like they were against, look at it, against the likes of, what, Lev and Vitality. You've some of the big heavy hitters in those rosters. Safe, Aspas, you've got some nuts players, and they were absolutely doing them in. Now, barely off the starting blocks, excuse me. This is a worrying time in this buy. I mean, it's going to be missing parts.
Wait, does that perfectly spread and take out the trips? It takes out one of them. It doesn't get the second one, but I respect the idea, the concept behind that paint shells. And here comes the contact up. Yeah, here comes the contact up short as well.
I want to see if there's going to be a prowler maybe towards
wait a moment.
Hookah. There is. Just to keep that extra body towards that B site, and now they're going to start leaning forward. That's the contact made on one. Quite about the others yet. Re-smoke over towards A. They're still above a minute, so they can test the waters here. Maybe feel out for if there's a stack or if anything's going on.
This is going to be very dangerous for EDG. If they actually go and commit to B here, there's 2 deadlock traps happening right now. One for the Hookah jump out and one for long B by that teleport. If EDG spots someone and speeds up, they'll get caught in that trap. Sky Flash to follow as well.
Here comes the the burst though. Thunderman leading the charge. Two players flashed up, stunned up, forced away. The trap was working until then. Nobody still laying down the pressure. Good pickup. A nice trade. Finally getting a little bit scrappy here. Doing some damage back in. But look at the space towards Shower as well. Don't forget about Chichu. But the timing here, they've kind of exchanged this. Kai now going to tuck into the corner. Wait for them both to pass. Oh, they gave it a look. Simon glanced that way for a second. And with 14 seconds, they've got to make a play here. Smoggy's got to lean through this. 10. He's running low on the time. He's trying to wait for Chichu to help out. And now the red carpet is rolled out. They can get the plant down. I mean, wait.
Nggak ada waktu, Cipai.
Plant down just a little too late. And the clock will be their biggest enemy this round. Wait. Yeah, okay. That takes some time. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure.
I love it though. EDG kind of walked themselves into that trap though. They had that space towards A. They used the paint shells and the Dizzy to kind of figure out what the situation was. But I love how Kai maneuvered his way up short there. And this is something that we should also pay attention to when we flip sides and he goes on to attack. He's going to be the one that if his teammates are going into B, he's trying to find that opening at A and call that audible. And vice versa. If he's going towards B, his teammates are going towards A, he's calling them back.
Aggression? Oh.
But this
I like the attempt.
Trace needs to do this. They need to throw a wrench in the plan of EDG. If EDG can walk all the way up and get those contact duels, that's when they do their best. Stop them.
But it's a lean towards the other side of the map here. Bianche trying to get more information. Gonna know nobody, but and then the Prowler on top. So they're gonna have a good idea that something is coming this way. There's a couple more bodies behind this. Nobody still with a fair fight, but it's a beautiful pickup for Trace. Maybe this is the time it turns. Maybe one round is all they needed, and Heybei gonna make sure of that. This could be a big follow-up here as well. Wants to swing it, he's got him caught. Trying to play patient, and there's the delivery. Heybei beautifully done, gonna keep him trapped in this. Send him away. The spike is in hand of Smoggy, and once
Aduh, si Kai di situ lagi anjir.
Look at Kai's positioning. He can cut off the rotation. And has Smoggy learned?
Alah, mati nih Smoggy.
They will now. Kai, beautifully done. This is different. They found a solution.
Very different. I worry that it's too little too late. Yes, they pick up a second round. There's a few rounds left of this half, so there's a way to make this a 5-7 half. And, you know, if EDG calls a timeout here, tries to make this like, hey, if they're reading us right now, we gotta switch it up. We need to change the game plan, and we do have different elements of our game plan. We've seen it in different matches from EDG, how they can change the tempo, go fast, go slow, get sloppy, and do all these individual fights. But right now, it would be really just not a fun sight to see them start to crumble and let Trace just come back round by round, because they had such a strong start to this game.
But I quite like the fact that EDG have called a timeout going into the 10th round when Trace only picked up 2 rounds. This is, it feels like a show of force, almost a show of dominance here. They don't even drop this much, and you're right, it is because Trace have adjusted well. They've come back in with a couple of switch-ups, a couple of new additions, again being able to slip a couple players through those aggressive starts.
Oh, weird.
What is the clear answer to this if you're in EDG's shoes? They've got still a great amount of money to buy with. I think they're maxed out on cash and some of the players, so they're fine in that regard. So what do you do if you're in this position?
If I'm EDG, I look to start using A more, and I look to start using potentially showers. I know that AWP is up, so I need to figure out a plan to deal with that, get into the cycle without dying to it. I have to deal with those trips that are always placed at short A. It's like 100% of the time, but I'm also really close to multiple ults. We can get Viper's Pit off of a plant.
Ada sambelnya nggak?
Showers Orb, Orbital Strike, all these really good ultimates.
Ada sambelnya nggak?
Deadlock traps are towards B, and it looks like EDG
kurang dong.
wants to go towards A.
Kalau nggak ada sambelnya.
Trace maybe reading this really well, starting to play their third person B, but
kan ada tri yang nggak ada sambelnya. Maksud gua mah.
There it is.
That's info as well.
That's 1 minute 30. They've noted where the operator is. Do they carry on? Do they respect it enough? Do they feel like they've got the angles to play with? They've committed the smokes. You got to feel they're going off this one. And thus far, they've got what they need.
Yang panjang-panjang nggak dipotongnya? Apa kecil-kecil?
They have to be careful of the wedge because the orbital strike on the defense side for the retake.
Actually pausing to use it. Second time of asking on the plant here. There it is. Smoke's gonna fade. They still have showers control, maybe a late presence from Smoggy potentially. And that's going to
mati kangkang.
There's no way out. Beautiful combo work. We saw it with the C's earlier on. Nice
Wah.
engine served at the right time.
Dikeluarin 2 ulti anjir.
Stick in the defuse. Finally pulled off it. The Dizzy was outrageous. It found all three, but still, this is getting chaotic. Smoggy finally leads forward. He's their insurance policy. It never goes far away if he's still alive. 8 rounds now for EDG, tilting the scales back into their favor.
This is how well these teams know each other. Good reactions from both teams.
Nobody wants you.
Defense here, getting on top of the truck with that operator, but that Dizzy getting that flash off, forcing that off shot out, knowing exactly what the setup was. EDG is able to play this round perfectly. The fights, the team fights together. We're missing that teamwork from EDG on previous games where everything got really into these sloppy situations. Even when they're in the same spot, they weren't fighting together. But here, looking like they are on point, they're communicating really well.
I got you.
Thrash is available.
Yeah. And it's being used straight away, so they've got to evacuate a little bit of this. How far do they commit? Nobody's sending it the whole way.
Kena stun tiga orang tuh.
The collector is in the building. Oh, that's just heartbreak for Trace. Maybe feeling they were just going to clear close sight, maybe clear through lamps, but no, all the way to CT. Found 3 of them and giving them a 2-man advantage already. Nobody looking to secure the round. Kangkang still wants it.
Hello, Kangkang nih boy.
And a flawless round.
Last round before the
3 ultimates on the board for the attackers here. Showstopper with a Nightfall, really good. Aggressive combo ultimates. The one thing that they have to consider still, though, is that Trace's traps are really good to stop the really pacey attacks here. Here it works. They use the Thrash to get in the faces, overstrike the zone out the back of the site here. Can they do it again on this type of round? I'm not sure. They'll probably revert to that slower pace, but here, just going in the faces, collecting a 4K and making it flawless.
It's night and day, though, isn't it, really? You're looking at EDG, strength upon strength. Trace starting to feel the pressure of what it's like to face EDG in these events. Even stronger, even harder to handle. Kangkang just clearing the space up towards Octagon. Hebe wanted to fight back for it, though. Big info off the reveal there. Hebe may be dead, and so's his support. Bianche's gone down. Nobody desperate for that kill.
What
and Hebe, how are you alive?
Hello.
He's still thriving in the corner.
Hebe masih
He found a little bit of safety.
Darah literally darah 1 anjir Hebe.
And it's somehow he's still holding this together. They've got to clear him eventually. Kai is on the way, but it feels like it's going to take a lifetime, and they TP'd.
Kai could get a really good timing flank on Showers here. He's worried that someone's gone to short A from Showers after the teleport. The hat for Kai, if he gets 1, he can find them all. It's on this first duel at Showers here on Smoggy.
Come on, get your gun out. Please get your gun out.
Jata, Kai.
Oh, and a moment away
Kangkang.
from the spotlight. Smoggy actually deliver. It's Kangkang now alive in a 1v1.
Whoa, 1 HPC, 1 HPC.
The boy who survived got 1 HP! You had a chance! It was slim, and then none. And my God, we get a real series here. EDG showing off, showing us exactly why they are #1 from this region, looking strong as...
Robi pindah. Robi pindah.
Be a fairy tale to go further, but they've met pretty much their maker, EDG, making a name for the region and now showing why. 10 rounds in the first half.
Not all fairy tales have that happy ending, though. And we're seeing that right here. Yes, there's another map. Yes, there's a second half. But right now, Trace, they need to almost look flawless going into the second half here. Starting with that pistol round, they do have these really good combos, but all their effort's going to be towards that long B, using that deadlock net to take that control with 3 players, and then from there, just be able to execute their plans. Kai, backup option, lurking around the map towards A, and that's going to be what we're looking for basically the first 6 rounds here from Trace. Is EDG going to let that happen, though, or are they going to get ahead of it?
Similar start near on, 3 towards B long, and a high-low setup waiting on the site, and already an early lean coming over from nobody. Spotting a pixel, the flash good enough to force them away.
That spike position makes me question where the end goal is here for Trace.
But it's not particularly humbled EDG. They're still looking like they want to take space back. You got to make them respect you. At this point, Chichu won't. He's going to hold that space and try and get a follow-up shot. He's in trouble here. Doesn't get bailed out by the Dizzy, so nobody now on an island. Isolated, looking for a fight, and he finds one. Goes down, and now the site is under Trace control.
Spike planted.
2 versus 4, Edge. EDG is trying to edge their way through, but not going to find an opening here. It's going to be very difficult with the crossfire on the back of the site here from Trace.
Aghann can get their attention and maybe hope that there's a gap for Smoggy to work through. Wait, he's just diving in! A wild attempt, but it wasn't going to land. It's good for Trace, though. This gives them a stepping stone forward.
A stepping stone. It's the first of many tall tasks right now. They've got a very, this is going to be a hard uphill battle the entire way through. If they want to be able to get back into this game, they need to take it round by round. They got to let EDG make these mistakes as well. But we're going to keep seeing the same opening from Trace because it's tried and tested. It's what works for them. Taking that long B space, going into hookah afterwards. It is just very strong. When you have this composition, you have to play into the plans that you've created.
Gelo, langsung rata, euy.
Trace put down Simon, nobody, and Chichu, and then just gonna run it up long. Got everything they needed. Gonna clear through, still with the dog. Gonna be diligent in case it's a stack. You never know. Kind of makes you think it might be if they've gone so almost over-aggressive, but so far, smooth sailing. Site's theirs, plant next. No problems. Maybe some problems.
Spike planted.
Smoke and spawn. Gonna make this difficult. 2-1-5. Trying to make this not be a flawless round. That's basically the goal here.
And this is where you're seeing the oppressive nature of that deadlock coming in as well. Elbows off the cards. They can't lean that way. They're kind of just stuck here till the end of the round, which, as it stands, they're probably fine to beat. I'd rather give it up to the spike.
It is a play.
Just trying to toy with them. They're not going to fall for it. Already, this is good. 5 standing. These are critical key ways forward for Trace. This is a real chance. This is a real chance for them. I'm scared, though, coming into this first big buy round, though, because I feel like they have to be at least competitive in this bonus.
Bonus round for Trace. EDG, yeah, they need to be a little bit competitive here because 10-4, that lead is kind of dwindling away right now. But Trace might change things up for EDG. They haven't tested this A site. They haven't seen the defense. They have no idea what's going on. They're going in almost blind here. And EDG could have the perfect defense waiting for them. Dog, up short. Here comes the net.
And they're going confident. Thronmax going to be leading the way, but his Aghann can already find Heybei. They're not going to stop. They're going to see a barrel. They know that Smoggy is here, and the pre-fire is perfect. Trace going to be taking this by force. The spike's still recovered. There's still a chance here, but nobody doesn't want that. He doesn't want to give him a chance in hell. 2 bodies dropped, maybe a third. No. Kai stands his ground, and we're in a 2v2. There's a minute still here. This is still early in the round. If you're Trace, you can pause. You can back away. You can calm the tempo down. Try and make EDG question where they're heading.
This is where I worry about Trace. They're not really in these situations all that much. They don't have the most well understood concepts when it comes to these mid rounds, these clutch situations, not as well as EDG, not as well as other teams in the tournament right now. So as this round develops, Trace waiting for any re-aggression from EDG. And remember, this was a 3 versus 2 for EDG, pressing the issue a little bit too much. Nobody gave it up.
30
Put into a 2 versus 2 here. Playing for sound, that's what EDG is doing, waiting for Trace to get into the site, get that spike planted, show their hand, and then group up and go together in that 2 versus 2. Chichu hoping to find someone as they're leaving the site after they planted.
Oh,
that's the opening.
Yes, there's the freebie. Does he show discipline? He does. He's not going to overextend here, just watching so you can see them walk. Dips down towards the site itself and needs to wait for Simon to come over, who still has utility, still has the C's and the haunt there.
Those are footsteps. Feng Feng knows exactly where both these players are now. It's on him to isolate the fights, though.
Can he do it? Simon getting closer.
One off paint shells.
This is huge. C's goes in, might need to play forward. Chichu doesn't play those games. And EDG get past the bonus round up against them. 2 still standing. EDG will be happy enough. Again, they've got 11 rounds, Josh. They can get closer in these. They don't have the pressure on them right now.
They're really happy about that opening as well. On top of those triple boxes, finding that first pick-off, EDG, it's on Trace to be able to play a perfect game at the moment. Right now, going and doing a fast play towards A, that's very far away from the game plan that we've seen against Lev, against other teams as well, where they are able to just control that long B area early. Even if they wanted to start with a little bit of a fake prod towards B, then come back to A, that works better. But EDG picking up that first kill before Trace got anything going.
I guess the silver lining is it was a costly gun round. So they are going to be suffering money-wise, right? We're going to see a judge come out, 2 sheriffs. It's just that you have 11 rounds. That's where the scary thing is. And as you highlighted, Trace still a little less experienced than EDG in these pressure games. I'll step closer for Hebe. And they back away here. So early look towards A, but no commitment.
And this Prowler on the defense sees nothing down long B. So this timing is going to be very big. If the contact comes up, a Feng Feng popping that boombot's going to give away the information. A flash to follow from Sky. It's 2 towards B now.
But I'm worried with Kang Kang here. I don't know why, but this guy just
Guys, cuman sampai map 1 ya guys ya. Aduh anjir.
Getting proactive.
Wah.
Could kind of be
like showers.
Gua ada urusan, Cok. Map 2.
Stack.
Gua nggak bisa WP map 2 ya guys ya.
Quick paint shot, but already
map 1 doang.
trying to take the space back, and he's got him. But they know the one's missing. Kang Kang was here. They saw him in the kill feed. They know he's still around. Haunted by him. The judge still be ratting off shells, trying to find something. Kang Kang waiting for a pixel. Smoked off for now. And a bit of an exchange of space, trying to clear through towards CT. They've done it. Smoggy's fallen. This is where it gets difficult. It's a 2v3. Looking for a pixel, looking for a player.
Orbital strike.
Primed
and ready.
First player spotted, time to move forward. Not gonna happen. Very well done by Trace in the end, keeping composure in that very volatile moment at the end then, but keeping that cool. Worked out for them, and they got themselves another step here.
That round could have easily gone out of their control, losing those first 2 players. This push here through the Viper wall, and then the second follow-up, EDG, having that 5-on-3, but the quick equalization, Showstopper invested, and, I mean, realistically, though, that was a full gun round from the side of Trace, whereas EDG, they lightly invested. They have some sheriffs in those rounds, and it looks like their economy is still not really in shape.
Apakah real comeback,
so they're
guys?
going to play that. They're going to make sure that their buy is as good as anything, and just try to close out slowly those last 2 rounds that they need.
And these are confidence builders, though, for Trace. These are the rounds that you want to get clean enough. Keep them going. Feel out the game, warm into the game. I mean, half the players were barely above 4 or 5 kills after that first half. It was a real grueling affair. So if they can just start feeling out the game, and this setup's lovely. This could really catch Simon here. See if they go for it.
The EDG players want to use the teleporter on this round, though, and get that fast flank.
This is comfortable for now, isn't it? Getting what they need. Forcing Simon to respect this. They now know his new position. He's fallen away. There's the TP. Kai ready and waiting. Nobody gone. Smoggy spotted. And the long creeping death on the way. Didn't need it. Kai warming up now. Starting to look deadly. And Simon again still being kept in check. Kang Kang kept behind the cage. And there's no escaping. 5 stand. Confidence builders right
Anjir,
here.
comeback
right
ini,
now.
Cok.
This is going to be a very important
Nge-stack
round coming
11.
up. This is so important for Trace to continue their streak right now. They're playing pretty good. Not exactly perfect, but close enough right now to be able to crawl back round by round. It's on EDG to kind of switch something up here. Yeah, they gave up a couple of rounds where they had basically a low buy, low investment, but still, the only round that they picked up this half so far was that 2 versus 2 in the retake situation, which came down to 2 versus 1. Now though, ops out, Rash available for the defense. How is Trace going to get around that? Switching it up, not starting towards B this time, starting towards A, taking that showers control first.
This is quick, this is early. They've met nobody thus far. And he's already slipped deeper towards side, kind of playing back by Tribox, leaving that line for Kangkang over towards short.
Now the way that they're spread apart here makes me think that it's going to be back to B for Trace. Get that orb if it is still by long B right now. Controlling that space is Fang Fang. The orb is still in play. That annihilation could come out and be a game changer for Trace getting into this round here.
I'm looking to see if EDG are re-clearing short though. I'm looking at them kind of stacking up a little bit here, getting quite close. I don't think they are. Okay, backing away.
They have that pivot, they have that op up, they're looking down the sight line here, and Trace trying to do a little bit of a fake jab towards B, but the real commit is going to be towards A, right into the sight of the op here.
Still looking at nobody being this close by, and you're right, Kangkang on top as well. And they're not falling for it. EDG are really sticking to their guns on this. Already sending Wingman into the showers. This is what it comes down to, is does it land? And this man does not miss, but this time he does. A new lease at life. For Trace, for the second time of asking, and the wall is just in effect. EDG, there's no access to this site. Kai has no opportunities either. No one's playing towards him, just constantly smoked off. Smoggy holding the line. Looking, just trying to backpedal away. They've got 10 seconds. Try and keep those weapons because you're not getting the round.
The clock ticks out. Time's out, Trace here. 12 rounds is going to be picked up for EDG, and right now, did you see how they didn't even budge that round? They didn't move. They lost showers control, but full control over long B. That's Simon holding it, spotting Hookah as well. They knew that right now, this is all fake pressure. Hold their setup, it's a ruse. We're going to be able to just connect this and be fine. Just pick off out of the sky. Pops that showstopper right after as well if more players got by, but nobody's shutting down that second and third player as well. EDG on the cusp of closing out this first map, and this is Trace's map hit. They have no more timeouts. They burned both in that first half before round 10, I believe.
Yeah, nobody's got the fish eye. We've got 2 away from the orbital strike, 1 off from the Viper's pit. On the other side, a couple of ults very nearby. You're going to have, I mean, Seekers for BNK. Heybei's got his, but we asked for a flawless game. It's a tall task. It's a lot to ask for, but it's pacey. Oh, and Smoggy just denying off the rip. Simon's been caught, though. Hold on over. Does he get saved in time? I don't think so. He's dead to rights. Molly to deny the plant and keep control here. Heybei's got his man. That's Simon gone. But there's not much security here for Trace. They are surrounded on basically all fronts. How are they going to get a plant from this?
The op's still up. Smoke's about to dissipate as well. And a refresh. But they're out of the smokes on the attack side. Both sides basically out of smokes, just down to the Viper wall.
And it looks like Logitech trying to find them some options elsewhere, but
just a soft reset, yeah.
Yeah, but he might meet his maker on the other side in the form of Chichu. I don't know what you're meant to do here. Chichu's position is just, he's just a safety net. He is their backup plan in case it goes wrong. And now hearing the TP, he might be in the right place, the right time, but outdone. And now suddenly there's a new chance, a new lease of life. Kai can activate the lurk here as well. He's going to hear the steps. This is perfect. They just got to stick the landing. God,
no way.
Nobody against the odds in that fight.
He's got flash on that retake too.
Oh, spot on. Seekers can come down. Notes at least 2 towards CT. They now know it's hard to break back in. If you think how suffocating, how oppressive that deadlock can be, a triple swing, and they're fighting this out, but they can fall away. Oh,
wait,
was it down to a 1v1? What just happened?
He's got wingman for the defuse as well.
Oh my god, it's down to the wire. BNK, does he get spotted? No, it's perfect positioning! BNK keeping hope alive! God, that was dangerous though.
As soon as that fight happened at Long B,
satu ronde lagi, Cok.
Trace closing this one out, Easy peasy, no problem at all. Kai not getting the jump on the player at short A. Well, he got the jump, he missed the shot, he missed the opportunity there. And then coming down to 3 versus 3, this was so close. And Trace, if they want to be able to come all the way back, get it all the way into overtime here, they need to be a little bit tighter than this. They can't let these rounds get this close.
God, if that Dizzy had caught, that could have been, I mean, so many small factors, but we're back in the game already. This is a pacey one too. Don't want to miss this for a second. Trying to find Chichu, but Chichu's got help. He's got friends here. You don't get a 1v1 against him. You got Aghann now leaning forward, wants to be the aggressor, and he meets Bianca.
no.
The judge though, the jury.
Nice, da GG. Da GG, guys. GG.
For Trace here. Bianca saved him before, but I don't think he can save him again. 6 bullets and a dream, and the dream just died. 13-7, EDG fully.
Okay guys, thanks for watching, thanks for today. See you next stream. Bye bye.